must think that I'm a restless case because I ran away, because I ran away. If you listen to the words I say, you know that I'm okay, you know it's just a phase. Don't think I'm leaving cause I'm not at all. And if you get hurt it's unintentional. I just wanted you to realize that I'm the one you like, that I'm the one you like. So where do we go, where do we go from here? Where do we go, where do we go? I don't know. Where do we go, where do we go from here? Where do we go, where do we go from here? Where do we go, where do we go from here? Baby, I've been busy missing you. Say, have you missed me too? Say, have you missed me too? Was this intermission good for you? Yeah, was it good for you? Or are you just confused? Don't think I'm leaving cause I'm not at all. So if you get hurt, it's unintentional. And I know that what I did was typical. I just needed time to show you what you got. So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? A sign from you, telling me you need me here just like I do. All I ever wanted was to make it through. Tell me, how about you? How about you? So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Say you love me. Say you're thinking of me. But you're just lonely. Tell me I'm special. But to you I'm anybody. 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 Anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. Say you love me. Say you're thinking of me. But you're just lonely. Tell me I'm special. But to you I'm anybody. 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 Anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. Anybody. But to you. But to you. But to you. I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. Anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. Anybody. But to you. But to you. But to you.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, and welcome back to the playoffs for the University Esports UK and Republic of Ireland Winter 2023 Women in Non-Binary Valorant season. That is quite a mouthful. If you didn't catch us
It
last week,
is.
my name's Evelyn, and I'm joined alongside my lovely co-caster Crystal.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Yes, we do have a very good matchup for us today. Actually, we have Bubble Bath, who we saw play last week, and unfortunately lose. But then we also have Zara and Kittens versus them, and Zara and the Kittens have been quite a dominant team, I'd say, throughout most of University Esports so far. But then did fall at some point, unfortunately. So they are currently fighting. Well, both of these teams are fighting to get to the finals next week. So yeah, we have some good maps for us today. We actually find ourselves on Lotus for game one. So Evelyn, what do you kind of think we're gonna expect to see on Lotus?
Well, I think that Lotus, it's definitely a bit of an interesting map. I think you've got a lot of close quarters. I think that B, obviously, you're gonna want some flexible smokes. Like Omen's pretty favorable pick for that map, for example. I think anchors are definitely gonna be important, like Killjoy. I'm thinking that as well. I know Razor's quite a popular pick. I think that that entry, those satchel charges on site are going to be quite key. And also Viper and Astra, I think are quite favourable picks. Obviously your smoke, you're denying line of sight. And also I think that A site's pretty open. You're gonna want something like that. However, last match, obviously last week, we saw a switch up in picks from what we would have thought to see. So what do you think that we might see? Are we gonna see something similar? Are we gonna see teams swapping up picks again this week, do you think?
I'm not sure. Obviously, Lotus is one of those maps where you can really play like a mixture of things, I think, for Lotus. Especially because it has, it does have those three sides. And especially on B side, because it's kind of so closed off and it's such close quarters. I think usage, like utility usage on B side, is always really, really interesting to see, because especially if it's like the defending team saving round, for example, they can just camp around corners with shorties or buckies or whatever and just get some really good damage and really good picks off. So I definitely think we're gonna have to see kind of what kind of picks these teams go for, but you might expect like a breach of some sort, because obviously there are a lot of little places where you can kind of breach flash, and obviously with how close a lot of the sites are, you can kind of you can stun down those routes as well. So I just think we're really gonna see. But let's talk a bit more about the two teams that we have here. Bubble Bath, we saw them play last week versus who did they play last week?
Aimbot Angels. It was that play
Aimbot
last
Angels,
week.
that is it. We
Yep.
did see Bubble Bath play against Aimbot Angels last week, which was, it was a very dominant series from Aimbot Angels. They 2-0'd.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, they 2-0'd. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
a
have
very
to
dominant
see
win.
if Bubble Bath can bring it back, but against a team like Zara and Kittens, especially because they're a team that have been very, very dominant in the University Esports League so far. We're just gonna have to see. And obviously there are some notable players, I think, on Zara and the Kittens. The one that I'm most familiar with is Liz. I know that she has been pretty prevalent in kind of the game changers scene, has been on a few teams here and there, played in like a few pickups here and there too. So we're just gonna see if Bubble Bath can kind of have a bit more of a comeback from their really unfortunate loss last week.
Yeah, absolutely. They lost pretty hard to Aimbot Angels last week in a 0-2. So quite unfortunate. I believe we are going into Lotus as our first map, which is Bubble Bath's pick. So they are on home turf. We'll have to see, how they fare. I believe that last week, on that unfortunate defeat, Ascent was there. they like swapping their picks up a little bit more. Do you think they might do a similar thing this week with like maybe getting a little bit of an off pick?
I don't know. I do always like to see those off picks every so often, you know. I like to see how teams kind of spice up things with team comps and everything, because obviously we see, like, obviously there's certain metas, I guess, that we can see on different maps, but I think it'd be interesting if someone pulls out like a gecko or something. Or I still really want to see well, I say I want to see ISO. Can they even play ISO in this? I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. But we are having some difficulties with some players currently, so we are going to take it to a very quick break. But we will be right back after to begin map 1, which is Lotus.
See you soon.
I ran away, because I ran away. If you listen to the words I say, you know that I'm okay. You know it's just a phase. Don't think I'm leaving, cause I'm not at all. And if you get hurt, it's unintentional. I just wanted you to realize that I'm the one you like, that I'm the one you like. So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go? I don't know. Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Baby, I've been busy missing you. Say, have you missed me too? Say, have you missed me too? Was this intermission good for you? Yeah, was it good for you? Or are you just confused? Don't think I'm leaving, cause I'm not at all. So if you get hurt, it's unintentional. And I know that what I did was typical. I just needed time to show you what you got. So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? All I ever wanted was a sign from you, telling me you need me here just like I do. All I ever wanted was to make it through. Tell me, how about you? How about you? So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here?
And welcome back, everybody. And I'm not repeating that paragraph again, but we were just on break. And in case you missed the beginning, this is the playoffs for Winter 2023 Women and Non-Binary Valorant. Again, apologies for that break. I think someone's PC got cipher hacked. But to do a little bit of a recap, obviously my name's Evelyn, joined by my lovely co-caster Crystal, and we've got Bubble Bath versus, I forget the name, Zara and Kitten. Indeed, thank you.
Cool, yeah, and we are finding ourselves on Lotus for 1. So yeah, this is quite a quirky kind of map, I'd say. Lotus is one of those ones that's it's kind of funny because, you know, we can kind of see like anything from this map, and as we do get into Agent Select, we are going to be seeing what these picks are going to be. So from both sides, well, first of all, from the side of Bubble Bath, I'm very happy as we do see a Fade being locked in, and as a Fade main myself when I used to play comp Valorant, that does make me very happy.
Yeah, I think Fade is going to be an interesting pick.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, there are a lot of cool little places where you can kind of look for where you can put your eye. There's a lot of corners you can prowl around. And as we can see, on the side of Zara and Kids, we are looking at quite a few hovers. Most players on Bubble Bath do have their agents locked in. All members of Bubble Bath have their agents locked in. We are seeing an Omen as their smokes. We're seeing a Sky and a Fade for Initiators, a Killjoy for their Sentinel and Raze for their Duelist. Raze is quite a good pick for this map, Duelist-wise, I believe, because you know, the satchels are really good for entering you into sight. The paint shells can clear out a lot of
Select your
things. Obviously,
agent.
if you want to clear like back sight on A site, then you can easily just paint shell that. You've got the Roomba for things like B site, obviously. But yeah, we have some interesting picks coming out here so far. You know, we're seeing quite similar compositions, but for the side of Zara and Kittens, we do have the Breach instead of the Fade, and I believe we're having a few more player difficulties. So let's just talk about the agents that we did see. The one that I'm interested to see the most is probably the Omen, just because Omen as a Smokes character, I personally really enjoyed Omen. You know, the ability to just like quickly refresh your smokes really easily. The paranoia obviously is also really good to have, because that it just gives the enemies a bit less kind of information and awareness of what's around them. So Evelyn, what did you think of the picks that we saw?
I agree. I think Omen's definitely a very good pick for this map. I think like all the versatile smokes are definitely going to be pretty useful. I think the Breach being locked in as well, there's a lot of tight corners, a lot of like small and closed areas. I think Breach having those flexible flashes, those concussive blasts to do a bit of zoning, clearing out corners, and also like, you know, swinging those tight angles and clearing areas, I think that's definitely going to be very beneficial. I think similarly for Fade, I think Fade is definitely going to be beneficial for doing like, you know, doing a bit of scouting, maybe baiting out some utility even, and like similarly as well on those pages. I agree. I think Raze is definitely going to be a very beneficial pick with the boom bot, obviously entering on site, getting a little bit of info, getting some space, and you know, I think we mentioned a little bit like last week. I think Raze is definitely going to be like the entry to site with double satchels. You hear that ult voice line, you're gonna go running. So I think it'll be interesting to see. I think we are.
I mean, go on.
Sorry.
Go on.
I think we are going to another break shortly, as I believe Cypher, Pesky, I'm not going to say that word on broadcast, but you know, someone's PC has been hacked again, so I believe we are going to go to the short break now. Apologies everyone for the delay, and we'll see you in a bit.
must think that I'm a restless case because I ran away, because I ran away. If you listen to the words I say, you know that I'm okay, you know it's just a phase. Don't think I'm leaving cause I'm not at all. And if you get hurt, it's unintentional. I just wanted you to realize that I'm the one you like, that I'm the one you like. So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Baby, I've been busy missing you. Say, have you missed me too? Say, have you missed me too? Was this intermission good for you? Yeah, was it good for you? Or are you just confused? Don't think I'm leaving cause I'm not at all. So if you get hurt, it's unintentional. And I know that what I did was typical. I just needed time to show you what you got. So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? A sign from you, telling me you need me here just like I do. All I ever wanted was to make it through. Tell me, how about you? How about you? So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go from here? You say you love me, say you're thinking of me, but you're just lonely. Tell me I'm special, but to you I'm anybody. 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 Anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. Say you love me, say you're thinking of me, but you're just lonely. Tell me I'm special, but to you I'm anybody. 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 Anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. But to you I'm anybody. Anybody. But to you. But to you. But to you. To you I'm anybody, to you I'm anybody, to you I'm anybody, anybody, to you I'm anybody, to you I'm anybody, to you I'm anybody, anybody, to you, to you, to you.
And hello, everyone, and welcome back to the University Esports UK and Republic of Ireland Women and Non-Binary Valorant 2023 Winter Season. We are back. My name is Crystal. I am joined yet again by Evelyn, and we do apologize for all the delays we've had. We've just had a few issues with some players' PCs, but we are back and ready to start in just a few minutes. So, since we got a little sneak peek into what the picks are going to be for both of these teams, Evelyn, do you think we're going to be seeing any kind of like lurking killjoys or anything here in this map?
I mean, we definitely spoke about it last week. Obviously, like, Killjoy is a very important anchor and a crucial pick. Definitely for Ascent, but also obviously, as you saw the sneak peeks, we saw it being locked in for Lotus as well. I didn't think we'd see it last week, although I saw it more than I thought we would, so I think it's definitely possible. However, also with Omen being more of a pick for this week, I think that hopefully we might actually have a character that should lurk, but obviously again, last week Killjoy definitely happened more than I thought it would. But on top of that as well, I didn't think we were going to see an ace last week. We did actually get one. Do you think we're going to have many, pun intended, showstopper plays this week?
I think it's definitely possible. If I go back to the point that we made about the locks, while you say that, you know, you don't really expect the Killjoy to be lurking, in a lot of situations, it is actually the Killjoy, especially on attack, that can be there to lurk and, you know, keep hold and keep an eye out of anything going on the other side while the rest of the team pushes. And I definitely think that's the case for Lotus as well, especially with the 3 different sides. You can always get a little like Killjoy just lurking in, trying to make sure that no one's coming in from any of the sides. But I definitely think that we have some really good players on both of these teams here, looking to make some show-stopping plays, as you described it. And as we get into Agent Select, we are finally ready to start Game 1 of this best of 3. We are going to be seeing the same picks on both sides, very nearly mirror comps, but we just have a breach on the side for Kittens instead of the Fade.
Yeah, we saw this last week when Bubble Bath opted to play the Sky, and obviously going back in time a little bit to that set map, the Sky pick versus Ikea didn't end up very well for Bubble Bath, and obviously that is a 0-2 loss for them. So the Sky pick, you know, I'm gonna have to remain a bit like cautious about this one, so to speak, as it hasn't done too well for them in the past. However, obviously, speaking a little bit of surprise picks, obviously the Fade and the Breach, I think definitely are going to be interesting ones. We touched on it a little bit, of Breach being very flexible with their utility, and obviously, like, Fade similarly going to have that zoning, going to be able to send Prowlers in. I think as well, for considering how
choose your agent.
Not open the sites are, so to speak, with like quite a few corners, I mean, excluding I think a site which is quite open, that Fade ult is going to be able to cover quite a lot. And I think in terms of like even smokes, like just touching on that a little bit, I think that, yeah, only having the Omen, I think that's going to be very beneficial for the teams, for having obviously those flexible smokes, being able to like redo those smokes and replace them and have them up quite often. However, you know, we're not seeing a Viper and we're not seeing an Astra, so there's not going to be too much splitting the map, so to speak. And obviously that A site, those very long sight lines might get a bit problematic. We're finally loading into Lotus now. Apologies for delays, everybody. Yeah, we're finally here, we're finally on the map, we're finally in the lovely oasis, I suppose, so to speak, as Lotus, I mean, got quite a nice vibe to it, got a little bit of a summery vibe, it's pretty nice. So yeah, apologies for delays everyone, this week, finally in. So yeah, we're going to see Killjoy, obviously, as expected, going to be the main anchor character, going to be locking down that site. Definitely going to be a key pick, obviously. So, and as we see, like, the Fade lining up. Oh, very early pick, but a nice trade there from both sides. Putting it down with 4v4.
There.
Buff looking to go for this ace side. Queen of Spades. On the raise, obviously. Saw this last week. Killjoy versus Killjoy. Zara comes out winning that one. Still currently a 4v3. Numbers not so favourable for Bubble Bath. We're gonna play this one a little bit slow, back off a little. See what they want to do. Okay, Bubble Bath looking to try go for a different side now of the map. That Sky Utility I was talking about, good dogging. Nice entry onto site, clearing a little bit of space. It's down to 3v3 now.
Right there.
Numbers looking a lot more even and favourable.
Spike planted.
As Liz, Spike goes down. Looking catches a head there, but doesn't manage to find anything. Whiffs a little bit onto the raise, Queen of Spades.
One enemy remaining.
Very nice pick, Queen of Spades with that pick. Only looking for one left, has the paint shells out. Doesn't look too good for Sky here. A single lone Sky. Got a little bit of health taken off them. Spike is down. Takes a bit of damage, gets
remaining.
one, gets two! 7 HP in a dream, is it possible? Spike getting defused, Queen of Spades, plays slowly and gets the win anyway. That was extremely close there. For Bubble Bath. Bit of damage there to the economy, definitely. As taking two more players down than expected, giving perhaps a bit too much leeway for Zara and Kittens, but they managed to secure the round anyway. Bit of a risky one, but they did. And now we're moving into round 2 with Pistol just barely going to Bubble Bath. I think it's definitely a bit more of a successful entry than their last matches last week, when obviously with Pistols and on that beginning half it didn't do as successful. So now obviously getting that Sky Utility out, getting flashes. That Phage Utility that we talked about a bit briefly there, with the using that Prowler to scout ahead, so to speak.
Hello, am I back?
Crystal, we can hear you, I believe. You're indeed back. Welcome back. I've had to try and do a playback what I was brought in for. But welcome back to the show. We currently have Bubble Bath. We went out with winning the Pistol round and currently in a 3v4, number favorable for Bubble Bath.
Deleted.
Spike is going down now. Low HP looking for Zara, so the low HP and the number deficit. It's not looking too good for Zara and Kittens. I think that obviously Bubble Bath might be coming into this week's match with a bit more momentum. Sky getting a nice pick there. You know, this guy was the member left during the Pistol round that took down 2 more members than Bubble Bath perhaps anticipated, but a 1v2 is possible.
I might be here now.
Hello.
Ace.
Hello, welcome back. I hope you are indeed here. Bubble Bath, 0-2 up currently. I don't think this was really expected, so to speak. Obviously, Lotus being their pick certainly might be more of a favourable map choice for them. And so far, they've looked pretty decent, so to speak, I think. I mean, we're going to ignore the minor hiccups that obviously we let Zara and Kittens perhaps get a few more picks than they should have. However, it's not perhaps as clumsy and as untidy as last week's map went. So again, hopefully they're coming into this week a bit more confidence. 2-0 up, definitely a nice confidence boost, I should hope.
Yes, I definitely think that, you know, their confidence might be a little bit stronger than it was last week. Obviously, Aimbot Angels was a very tough matchup for them. But even in the face of a team like Zara and Kittens, which has been, you know, very dominant in the UK, the University Esports winter season so far, it's definitely looking like Bubble Bath have this back up. We're seeing some smokes come out from the Omen. We're also seeing, you know, some blinds, a lot of utility being thrown around and everything. So the Eterna coming in with the Prowler, looking in to get some information to see if they can just find anyone at all on the A site, but no, it doesn't quite catch anyone. The Skydog does come through as well. You know, Bubble Bath having a lot of really good utility usage here, just making sure their initiators are using all their utility to their advantage. You know, the Fade Horn coming out as well, but we are seeing Gab just kind of hold this tight corner in kind of arches here on the A site. But we're seeing Bubble Bath rotate already. What do you think about this, Evelyn?
We did see this briefly in the previous round. They did try to get this A site and then move around to Siege and Pistol. I think with the tighter corners, with the Sky Flashes, and with the post plant for the Killjoy utility, I think this is definitely a bit more favourable to them with this rotate. We're seeing them edge onto the site now. Hopefully we'll get that spike down. You see the Killjoy utility obviously being used, which is very good. I'm glad we're seeing that with the attack last week. I don't think they did perhaps as good with the Killjoy. I'm glad to see it being used a little more this week. Spike has gone down. I'm hoping we don't have a repeat of last pistol round where Zara and Kittens were able to get more than they should have. They're getting one pick now on the entry to site, seeing the Killjoy utility go down.
Wow, this has been a really, really clean retake from the side of Zara and Kittens. But Blaha coming in for Bubble Bath, but Liz does get the defuse. Blaha does take them all down and gets the 4K, but Liz just sticking that bomb defuse like all the pros do, getting 1 point on the board for Zara and Kittens. Wow, that was a very, very clean retake from Kittens right there, don't you think?
Absolutely. Pros don't fake. 1 up on the board currently for Zara and Kittens. It was a very, very nice 3K, 4K, sorry, even I think it was, from Omen and Bubble Bath. I think maybe we saw a reverse of pistol round where obviously we saw Zara and Kittens get 3K, still lose the round. However, now obviously Bubble Bath getting the 4K as well, not being able to secure the round, and pros don't fake. And now obviously they're trying to Bubble Bath are trying to attack this A side again. Are they going to rotate to C? I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we did see a bit of an Odin spray from the Fade on the side of Bubble Bath there, looking to try and get a little bit of damage off, and they did actually do that to the person that was holding arches there. But we are seeing Luna get a lovely pick onto Zara, you know, bit of Killjoy warfare going on towards the seaside, and that's what we like to see from the lurkers on that Killjoy, especially on a map like Lotus. This is looking so good to for, you know, Bubble Bath. This is looking so much cleaner than we saw them. Queen of Spades getting a pick onto the other race as well, while stunned. Gab getting a pick with the Sheriff as well, but Eterna just comes right back with that Odin, getting some picks. We are now in a 2v4 situation for the side of Zara and the Kittens. Bubble Bath do get the spike down, and it's looking a bit dire for Zara and the Kittens here, Evelyn.
Yeah, Zara and Kittens keep finding themselves in these number situations where they're just not favourable at all. The odds aren't favourable to them. And Liz now, in the 1v4, the Sheriff and a Dream, could see some one-taps. They're going to look to poke, finds one. Are they going to find another?
Does she know? She does! And she gets 2 of them. Now, as someone who knows Liz as a player, I've seen her win these before, but not quite. Queen of Spades does take down Liz. A lovely little crossfire held by Eterna and Queen of Spades there in tree and on site. It was so close. Liz hitting some lovely shots with that Sheriff, I do have to say, but it wasn't quite enough to clutch the round out. 1-3 is our scoreline right now. Bubble Bath taking a nice little lead, which is definitely something I think we wanted to see after last week.
Absolutely, I agree. Zara and Kittens, I think, our predictions going into this, we're thinking that Zara and Kittens are going to be a bit more successful. Obviously, again, Bubble Bath picking Lotus is definitely proving to be beneficial for them so far. I think taking that pistol round and going into second round obviously helped them with their loadouts. Obviously, taking that win there. I mean, Zara and Kittens, once again, by finding those picks to make numbers a bit more favourable. You know, they probably shouldn't have got as many picks as they should have, and obviously we're seeing them again try and go for this A site, but Killjoy utility, be able to hold them off a little bit, and now a 3v4, 3v3 now with a nice trade coming out there. But 3v2 of the other trade coming back out. Numbers aren't looking too good, and we're seeing a lovely pick by Luna, but gets traded out again at 2v1. Numbers actually not looking favorable for Bubble Buff this time.
Definitely not. No. Oh, and it's looking like Eterna is having a little bit of lag there, which is unfortunate. The Seekers do come out from the sky on the side of Zara Kittens as well. But you know, Eterna just has this Odin, but it's not quite enough. Cinder, the sub actually for Zara and Kittens, coming through with a lovely little kill right there, putting Zara and Kittens on to 2-3. That was looking quite a bit dire for Bubble Bath actually. They seemed to fall apart just a little bit more there, but as we saw, the utility from the side of Zara and Kittens was looking so good. The blinds were doing great, and I mean, yeah, their utility usage is just really good, but we're just gonna see what both of these teams can do, because Bubble Bath have 4 ultimates on their side, including the Nightfall, including the Showstopper. But then Zara and Kittens also have 3 ultimates on their side as well, including, you know, that Breach or the Rolling Thunder. They have the Lockdown as well. This is going to be really interesting to see. And as we see, Queen of Spades is going for a bit of a lurk on the C side. You know, Zara and Kittens kind of pushing up a bit more aggressively than I think they maybe should be, but there are 2 people on the side of Bubble Bath here looking to kind of try and get as many picks as possible. Luna does only have a Bulldog for Sky Hill coming through as well. Another beautiful Skyblind from the side of Zara and the Kittens as well. And this is actually just a 5-man C push. Sakura not quite getting the damage off, but we're just going to have to see how the rest of this round plays out.
Yeah, Sakura maybe getting a little bit more of a bargain for peeking back corner, seeing all 4 and even maybe I think 5 members of Zara Kitten. So we're gonna back up a little bit for now.
Yeah, we're seeing.
I mean, normally we're seeing the A hit move to C. No, yeah, they're looking to reverse this. They try to go C, so all 4 members went. I'll pass on this one. Now we're going to look for the A site, and obviously that fade ult coming in very massive. I did say I think that fade ult's going to be big. It's going to be covering a lot of the site and definitely being able to get a lot of control.
Yeah, definitely that Nightfall was very crucial for the side of Zara and Kittens. We are seeing, you know, the breach pulses coming through again. The breach is actually quite, well no, sorry, the Sky is very low on HP for the side of Bubble Bath. But we're seeing the lockdown come in from Zara and Kittens as well. Gab getting a lovely little pick onto Queen of Spades as well. And they're just sticking the defuse. Zara going in, getting a lovely pick as well. They did get it halfway. The Pike is solo HP. Liz getting 2 and getting the defuse. And Luna able to take down Liz and gets away alive as well with the Bulldog. So that was a really good retake from the side of Zara and the Kittens. And this now ties us up at 3 a piece. What did you think of that round, Evelyn?
I mean, yeah, going into that round, obviously we had quite a few ultimates coming up online. Quite an explosive round. We saw quite a couple. We obviously saw the lockdown come out, the fade ult onto the entry to site. We are still seeing a couple of ults for remaining for both the teams. Obviously we've got the Showstopper up, which I think, you know, that's going to be an interesting one to see how Bubble Bath choose to entry with. So I think there's definitely still opportunity for them to use these ults to get these entries, and same for Zara and Kittens. I think there's definitely still some potential for them to use to hold these sites still defensively using the ultimates and utility they have online.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, we are seeing Bubble Bath a bit more spread out, looking to run a bit of a default here, trying to get as much information as possible. But Zara and Kittens are also very spread out on the defenses. We have the, you know, the Killjoy kind of holding the A side almost by herself here. The Breach kind of peeking every so often through arches, and we are just looking, well, it's looking like it's going to be a bit more of a B push here, which can sometimes be a little bit risky, especially because of those close corners. But it's looking like, well, they got Omen smoked off, and Gab has spotted some players on the C side as well. So we're just going to have to see where they're actually really going to be pushing it. And it's looking like they're actually going for C-side, meaning Gab is left by herself. The Showstopper coming out from the side of Bubble Bath as well. Gab just forced to almost completely leave the site open, and it's looking like Bubble Bath are going to get the plant down.
30 seconds left. Spike planted.
Yeah, absolutely. That Showstopper coming out, but double satchel charge onto the site definitely was clearing enough space for them. Obviously, we're now seeing them try and move forward, get a bit more space. Picks going out for both sides, making it down to 4v4. Saka getting a lovely pick there. Now 3v4 down to... I'd take it back. 3v3 now. Spike is starting to begin to be diffused. Bubble Bath need to try and move forward a bit, but getting a nice few picks. Those are pretty even. They haven't got it halfway, and they still managed to take the round there very nicely. A lot of picks there, side of Zara and Kittens. being able to trade out by Bubble Bath, but Bubble Bath being able to hold that and shut down that defuse where it mattered was definitely crucial in that round.
Yeah, I agree. Those 2 picks from Blaha at the very end of the round were very, very crucial indeed, taking down, the spike diffusers and making sure that Zara and Kittens do not get that defuse off. This game, it's looking very close already. We've seen Zara and the Kittens have a lot of good retakes and a lot of good rounds, but I mean, Bubble Bath are just looking so strong on their attacks and actually getting the spaces on the site. But obviously, Bubble Bath did end up investing quite a few important ultimates in that round. We did see the showstopper and it didn't quite get anything. And obviously, it's an 8-point ultimate, so it is going to be very difficult for them to try and recharge that quickly. We're seeing Pyke go in with the Trailblazer, looking to get some information about what is actually on the site. We do have the Killjoy setup here from Zara and the Kittens, just looking to try and hold the site as much as possible, but it's looking like the Bubble Bath are just gonna get a free entry into the site and get that spike down easy peasy. But no, never mind. I lied. Zara getting a lovely pick onto the spike planter. But Eterna just coming through with 2 picks on the Bulldog. Blaha getting a lovely few picks as well. Gab getting 1, but not quite able to get all the picks that she needed. Sakura coming in as well in a 1v3. Wow, this round has looked really rough already.
Yeah, and there we see right at the end there, Bubble Bath having the numbers to hold that angle and shutting down Zara and Kittens and taking that round. I think it was nice to see on that round Zara and Kittens recognising that Bubble Bath preferred to try and go for that C site and using that Killjoy utility to anchor that site down more as opposed to A. I think that's definitely a good read by Zara and Kittens. However, still not being able to clear the round up. Bubble Bath getting that spike down on that C site, I think it's beginning to spell doom for Zara and Kitten. We saw him do a good retake before on A site. However, C site's definitely looking to be like Bubble Bath's site of choice here. B, obviously, we spoke about very briefly. You don't want to be particularly pushing that with a lot of close quarters. However, going into this 8th round, we're seeing Bubble Bath play this one a little bit slower.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like they're just changing up the pace completely, not looking to be kind of as aggressive and as explosive as they have been in previous rounds, but it's looking like maybe this pace change might be more helpful for them, just trying to get as much information as possible. Cinder throwing down that smoke onto B side, trying to prevent the push for as long as possible. The Trailblazer does just barely spot out Liz over towards that door. But I mean, more and more players on the side of Bubble Bath are grouping towards C site, and it's looking like this is going to be a C site here. C site hit here, sorry.
We're full of tongue twisters today. That intro and C site hit. Quite a few, yeah, I agree. Obviously, yeah, Bubble Bath choosing to play this one a little bit slower. Obviously, they look to maybe try and get that C site hit. They're gonna look and move round to A, or see how that Killjoy utility to look out for, as Killjoy being the main anchor there. As Omen with the ult might look for a little bit of flanking. Just using it to grab some utility and some intel. And obviously the rest of Zara and Kitten starting to rotate round to this side as they begin to hit it.
Definitely, yeah, we're seeing some lovely Killjoy utility come out from the side of Zara and Kittens. Cinder just trying to get some smokes off, and some lovely picks from the side of Zara and Kittens. It is a 3v3, and 2 members of Bubble Bath are very low, but Blaha just going in with no fear whatsoever. Gab is in a 1v3 with a Sheriff, but there are 2 members, well, now only 1 member on the side of Bubble Bath that are very low on HP. The Sky Heal does come through, but I mean, Gab is also very low themselves, only 32 HP to their name. The blind comes through, not quite finding anything, and it's not looking like they're going to be able to clutch this out. Yeah, Blaha just in such a perfect position there and running into the rest of Zara and Kittens with no fear whatsoever. That was a very, very good round from the side of Bubble Bath.
Absolutely. Bubble Bath playing that one a little bit slower, still managing to obviously get onto that A site, using that Omen utility where it matters. I think that's definitely important, using those reoccurring smokes and being able to close off obviously those important and long angles on A site was definitely quite important and beneficial really for that initial execution. Obviously as well we had the Killjoy utility that was set up on that site. I think that Bubble Bath did very well to obviously avoid that and still be able to get on site. And with Sheriff and the 1v3, we'd seen back before for Bubble Bath, where they're in that situation. Zara and Kittens were able to find a little bit more in previous rounds than that round just then with the Sheriff. However, Bubble Bath, not this time. Again, with that confidence, shutting down Zara and Kittens with that Sheriff. They're not letting Zara and Kittens do anything with that Sheriff that round.
Absolutely not. No, and I mean, Zara and Kittens activating that timeout, just looking to get, maybe a bit more of a game plan together. It hasn't been looking like they've been playing very together much this game, but just trying to think of some ideas, think of some strats that maybe can help them against this Bubble Bath roster, because Bubble Bath have been switching it up a lot more than they were last week. They're looking a lot more confident, a lot cleaner, but it's looking like, Zara and Kittens are going for a bit of a B push here, trying to go a bit more aggressive and catch Bubble Bath off guard. But, Bubble Bath were prepared. They are completely avoiding the utility. They're not letting them push through. So, the plan that Zara and Kittens spent that time out trying to make up didn't quite work.
Absolutely. I think Zara and Kittens is trying to do a little bit of a different strat, switch it up a little bit, looking for that very aggressive start on B. Was definitely quite interesting, obviously, considering the slow start we saw for Bubble Bath round before. Obviously now looking towards that A site again, playing a little bit slower, with a couple members looking towards C. Seeing Bubble Bath once again play this one slow. Worked out for them last round. Let's say it won't work out for them again this round. Obviously, even with a timeout from Zara and Kittens, that was quite an aggressive strategy from the beginning, but we'll have to see as the clock ticks down.
I was going to say, we've already only got 40 seconds left on the clock for Bubble Bath to be able to go and get this spike down. Gab, with that blinding light, does get some information that there are some members of Bubble Bath on the C side, and all the members of Zara and Kittens come rushing in to come and help. The lockdown does go down for the side of Bubble Bath, and the showstopper coming out from Sakura, looking to get one, and they do. Blaha going down, but the lockdown is forcing the rest of Zara and Kittens to just completely evacuate the side. Zara, unfortunately, does get detained, but this does mean Bubble Bath are able to get the spike down. Liz getting a lovely pick onto Queen of Spades, leaving us in a 4v3 situation. Liz getting another pick yet again as well. She is going crazy this round already, looking to hopefully stick the defuse as well. But Luna is there. Liz getting a third, but can she get the fourth? Does she know that Etana is right around the corner? No, she doesn't. 23 HP left to Etana's name. It's all up to the killjoy for Zara and Kittens, looking to hopefully get that defuse, but Etana still has that Odin. I believe the spike is indeed halved, and it just looks like Zara is going to stick it. Etana not quite able to do anything. Wow, that was a crazy close round, and I think a lot closer than it should have been.
Absolutely. It's a very nice entry initially onto C site there. Bubble Bath coming in immediately, Satchel charging in. Obviously that raise ult from Sakura, getting a nice pick there, but obviously the lockdown coming out meant that Bubble Bath had plenty of time to get that spike down. However, it began falling apart when Zara Kittens were able to find those initial picks, get some more space onto site, and you know, it definitely came down a lot closer than it should have. But yeah, I think Bubble Bath, very good entry, very good start to site, but weren't able to close out that round.
Definitely, yeah, and I mean, we're seeing Bubble Bath kind of pick up the pace yet again, going for a bit more aggressive push, but Zara and the Kittens are prepared. Liz already holding out all her utility, them faking the door, no one going through it, just trying to get a bit more vision and a bit more information on where the players on Zara and Kittens could be. We still have the lockdown for the side of Zara and Kittens as well as the Omen ult, but we do also have the Nightfall for the side of Bubble Bath. So maybe they're kind of looking for a way to use this Nightfall to, you know, get them some more information. Cinder going for a little Omen ult into their spawn, but not quite finding any information. We have Pike ready with the Trailblazer, and there is the Nightfall looking to hopefully allow Bubble Bath to push in, but Liz getting a lovely little pick with that aftershock there.
Absolutely. Spike now going down for the side of Bubble Bath. We've seen them in this position before. They do like holding their angles. They have the players. I mean, they don't quite have a numbers advantage yet, but they are able to hold this site before. We've seen them hold this retake, although the pick's not looking too good for Bubble Bath. 2 players up in a 2v5 doesn't look too favorable for them.
Definitely not, no. And I mean, Cinder is looking like they're just going to stick this defuse because all 4 members of Zara and Kittens have just come running in to take down each member of Bubble Bath. But Aetana did get a lovely little 2k there, and Queen of Spades trying to clean it up, but Cinder does get that final pick. We are on the final round of the half, and it's looking more likely that this could end up being a 6-6 half.
Yeah, I think that'd definitely be interesting to see. I believe we actually saw that score again last week. In that round, I think that obviously numbers didn't look too favourable for Bubble Bath at the end there, but Zara and Kittens getting quite greedy about those picks at the end. Obviously, they got the round, I suppose, like you could say, that's what matters, but losing 2 players with this economy, stocks have gone down. Not looking, definitely not what was planned. Now we're going to see, obviously, Killjoy Utility set up on A, but Bubble Bath looking for a C hit once again.
And what's interesting here to see is that Zara and Kittens don't actually have that much econ-wise, but Sakura going in, getting 2 with the judge. I was about to say they have a judge and a sheriff on the side for Zara and Kittens. Liz with the aftershock trying to just delay this push a little bit more. We're just gonna have to see what Zara and Kittens can do with these weaker weapons. Cinder getting a lovely pick onto Blahar as well, making it a 3v2 for Zara and Kittens, and it's looking like they might take down Pike while they're at it. Aetana on very low HP, only 20, and there we have it, a 6-6 half for these teams. Looking like Bubble Bath were maybe having a bit more confidence and taking their footing a bit more, but we end the half on even scores. Wow, what do you think about that, Evelyn?
I didn't think it'd be quite this even, in all honesty. I think it's definitely going to be interesting now seeing the swap and Zara and Kittens on the attack versus Bubble Bath on the defense. I think Fade, obviously, going to be interesting to see how they use that on the defense and how Bubble Bath are going to use Fade's abilities like the Prowler and like the Fade ultimate to get that initial utility and information. I think that's for Zara and Kittens, obviously, they might have a few more opportunities to push for this B site where Breach utility, the Flash, and the Concussive Blast are definitely going to be favourable in those tight corners. So I think, obviously, we're going to have to see how it pans out really for both sides on this swap.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're just going to have to see how these teams switch up their playstyles. You know, I'm expecting from the side of Bubble Bath, I'm expecting some Seasonades. I'm expecting some combinations of utility, especially with the Fade. You know, they have the Prowlers, they have the Seas, they have the Horn. It's going to be really interesting to see how Bubble Bath use that Fade utility on the defense. But it's looking like Zara and Kittens have a very exact way of how they want to push this site. The stun does come through, the TP comes in as well from the Omen. Pike is just kind of almost left to defend the site by themselves, but Zara and Kittens haven't really fully pushed in yet. You know, we do see the rest of Bubble Bath kind of going in and trying to kind of get some more aggression, but Blahar taking down Sakura while blind as well. Luna not quite getting the damage onto them as they would wish. Pike taking down Cinder as well. And I mean, despite their best effort, Zara and Kittens didn't get the push that they wanted onto this site.
Yeah, Bubble Bath definitely looking a lot more confident on this defense. Zara and Kittens now 2 players down after trying to get the execute and plant down on that C site. They did back off a little bit, might be looking to now go more for C side. They get 1 player down, numbers looking a bit more better, and now 3v4.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a 3v4 with only about 10 seconds left. It's looking like Gab is going to get this plant down, which is going to be really good for Zara and Kittens, but now they just have to defend against 4 members of Bubble Bath. And Liz and Zara taking down 2 respectively. Mike taking down Zara in the meantime, but also taking down Liz as well. It's all up to Gab to win this pistol round for Zara and Kittens in a 1v2. They don't quite know where the rest of the team on Bubble Bath are, and that is round. Wow, what a great retake from Bubble Bath there.
Absolutely. Bubble Bath so far winning both pistol rounds in this match. Definitely a big confidence boost, I'd hope. And so far looking a lot better in performance as opposed to last week's. Obviously on the defense, taking that first round, going to have a bit more of a better economy, hopefully get a bit more better utility. I think for Zara and Kittens, obviously, can't be affording too much. Definitely might struggle a little bit in this coming round. I think they're going to have to play this maybe a little bit slowly, get the picks where they can, and we're going to have to see how it's going to pan out for them. Obviously, they tried to get that C site, didn't work out too well for them, so they backed off a little bit. And when they tried again, still didn't work out too well for them. So we're gonna look to opt for a different site this time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how Zara and Kittens play this save round out for them. We do have 2 members up towards the A side. We have 1 member of Bubble Bath towards the B side, and the other 2 on the C side. Very kind of typically spread out for a map like Lotus. And it's looking like they're gonna go for a tree push here with the Bridgestone, with the Trailblazer, the blinds, everything. Sakura does take down Aetana, but in trade, Aetana takes down Liz, Queen of Space, taking down Sakura as well. It's not looking like, well, never mind, I didn't even get to finish my sentence, and Cinder already took down Queen of Spades, which is going to be a huge economic loss for the side of Bubble Bath. Zara getting a lovely little dink onto Blaha, but not quite finishing them off. It's all up to Gab and Cinder on the side of Zara and Kittens here to be able to clutch out this save round for Zara and Kittens and maybe get another round on the board for them. We're seeing most of the members of Bubble Bath coming in towards backside, getting the blind off in tree to kind of make sure they get the information. Gap taking down Pike as well, but Blaha takes down Cinder straight away, and it's looking like Luna is just going to stick the defuse, and Blaha finishes off Gab as well. Bubble Bath are now 2 rounds up.
Yeah, Zara and Kittens obviously didn't win that round, but they did definitely do quite a bit of damage to Bubble Bath. Obviously, the numbers at the end, that only 2 up for Bubble Bath, definitely quite a bit more damage, I think, than Bubble Bath perhaps hoping for. I don't think they intended to lose that many players. Obviously, still being able to close it out at the end is important, as obviously we're seeing a more of a stronger buy for Zara and Kittens, and Bubble Bath. Stocks have gone down a little bit now for Bubble Bath, obviously. They don't have quite as much in the loadouts and in the locker, perhaps, as they might have hoped to after that last round.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, we're seeing, obviously, Zara and Kittens having that force round now, looking to have a bit more of a stronger economy, a bigger loadout. But obviously, Bubble Bath also have the same loadouts as well. They still have their weapons, they still have their utility. Sure, they're at a bit more of an economic loss because a lot of them did die, but it's looking like a lot of them still have strong weapons in their artillery. Blaha falling back a bit from that door, and it's looking like Zara and Kittens are looking to push this B side just a bit. The Trailblazer from Pike does get some information about where the members of Zara and Kittens are, but I mean, it's looking like these team Zara and Kittens is very unsure about where they're quite going to push, but I mean, it seems they've made up their mind and it's looking like a seaside pusher.
Yeah, Zara and Kittens moving a little bit slowly, moving a little bit confused, looking how to play for the C side. It's a lot of utility going out, that breach utility definitely coming in beneficial, although Bubble Bath being able to find that nice pick is going to stop the plant temporarily for now. Still gets a bit of damage, now full 4 for both sides. Spike looking to come down, is it going to go down? And it doesn't, it's just at the end.
Not quite, no. I mean, Bubble Bath are using these weaker weapons very, very well. And it's all up to Gap, and they get 2 lovely little headshots, one of them being a wallbang as well, to get that spike down and win the round for Zara and Kittens. That was incredible from Gap, such precise aim. That was really, really well played from Gab there.
Absolutely. Lovely 2 picks at the end for Zara and Kittens and Gab to close out that round. Bubble Bath looked like they were doing good initially. Obviously, Zara and Kittens had a quite successful execute there initially on that C site. They had the utility coming out, but they couldn't get the spike down. Spike killer, dead. Tried to plant again. Spike killer, gone down again. Well, spike planter, sorry. Killed.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Bubble Bath
couldn't get it.
are very, very good at kind of stalling and delaying that spike plant, especially when you have a member like the Fade, like Aetana, using that Odin. But Sakura just said, no, you are not holding my site today, giving Zara and Kittens instant access to the A site. And it's looking like they're going to get this spike down for free, looking towards that drop side. And we do have, the Killjoy still lurking over towards B side, looking to maybe get a flank in and just get some additional information for their team to see how easily they're going to be able to hold site. But it's looking like everyone on Bubble Bath is just all coming from CT.
Yeah, Bubble Bath currently with a 3v5. Numbers are looking too confident, but obviously with those smokes, I think Zara and Kittens, Sakura looking a bit of a flank there, managed to get 1 pick.
Last player
Pretty
Do
good
they
so
know?
far, but
They do. And wow, a beautiful, flawless round from Zara and Kittens. That was clean, I'd say. That was very, very clean, just getting the picks off one by one by one. And we are now tied up to 8 apiece yet again. Wow, Evelyn, this game is so incredibly close.
absolutely. I didn't think we'd see a scoreline quite this close. I think, obviously, a closer match, definitely more fun to watch. I think Bubble Bath are definitely proving that they can be successful on attack, obviously, as they were in the beginning, which is, I think, where they fell short last match, last week. So I think, obviously, I mean, even still, I think with winning both the pistol rounds has been very beneficial. I think Bubble Bath coming into this with a bit more confidence. Zara and Kittens definitely proving like an interesting challenge for them. But obviously, an equal scoreline, definitely an interesting watch so far. And obviously, Zara and Kittens looking a bit more spread out, looking towards the C site a little bit, but a couple members looking towards B.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we're seeing Zara and Kittens with the stronger artillery and the stronger loadouts here. You know, with full loadouts, better weapons, and Bubble Bath only really have pistols to their name. A lot of sheriffs coming up for their side. But we're gonna have to see kind of how Zara and Kittens take advantage of this kind of weapon advantage. But Blaha getting a lovely pick onto Zara and another pick onto Cinder as well. Blaha, we were saying this last week, they were looking so good last week despite Bubble Bath falling 0-2, but I mean, they've just brought it even stronger this week, and they get a third as well. Are we possibly going to see our first ace? We might.
Come
It's all
on.
we have. Blaha maybe kind of playing it a bit safe, but looking for the final player. But do they know where Gab
seconds
is not quite?
No.
And Gab does take them down, so no ace for them. But Gab does end up getting 2. It's now a 1v3. The door from B-side does open, but no one really kind of making any sort of contacts. We're seeing all of the members of Bubble Bath kind of go more towards the
10
waterfall
seconds
side,
left.
and it's looking like Gab is going to be able to get this plant down. Now it's just kind of a stalling game, but Aetana is right there to answer back. That was a great retake from Bubble Bath, and an amazing round from Blaha.
Absolutely. Blaha, we saw a couple of members try and get on that B site, and Blaha said, "You shall not enter my site." Getting a lovely 2 picks there. Didn't see the ace, unfortunately. I wonder if we will see an ace this week. That I definitely think will be a good clip. I think Bubble Bath, overall of these rounds, are definitely... maybe they're getting a little bit greedy, or at least Zara and Kittens are being able to find more picks than perhaps they should. Bubble Bath, obviously, you know, very good 4K, but even at the end there, numbers getting a little bit close. Zara and Kittens, 8 HP left. I nearly even got the spike down. I think that Bubble Bath obviously aren't doing this perhaps as neatly as they would like to, and are definitely suffering perhaps a bit more collateral damage from these rounds.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, while they do have a lead, it's only by 1 round, and that's very comebackable, especially for a team like Zara and Kittens. We're just gonna have to really see kind of what they do with what they have, and Saka already getting a lovely opening pick onto Aetana, making sure that they don't have that recon util available. The Trailblazer coming in from the side of Zara and Kittens as well, and it's looking like this is going to be a B push, but do they see anyone up top? No, they don't. Blaha getting a lovely 2, getting 3 yet again. Blaha has been incredible for this set so far, and it's only game 1. This is looking really good for the side of Bubble Bath.
Player standing.
Blaha getting a 4th as
Spike
well.
down A.
I mean, it's looking like they might get the
No.
ace, but no. Zara and Kittens are not letting Blaha get this ace. What do you think we kind of need to see from Zara here to be able to clutch out this round?
I think Zara obviously now going to look towards maybe that A site. Has retrieved Spike as well. 3 members of Bubble Bath going to be starting about B site quite confidently. They know where, do they know where Spike is? I'm hoping they know where Spike
30
is. It's sat in a
seconds
very
left.
little corner there. Obviously, Killjoy got a little bit of utility. Does have the lockdown. I don't know if perhaps there'd be a waste to use it in such unfortunate odds in this round. They are going to pick up a Spike, however. I think Bubble Bath maybe didn't know that the Spike was there. They should not have left it like that. With time ticking down now, Zara Kitten got a rush to get the
10
Spike
seconds
down
left.
right now. And it looks like they will get it down, but 3v1, not the best odds, but you do have a Killjoy turret, so maybe it's more of a 2v3.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, Zara does take 1 down, and they hold a drop, and they get 2. Can they get the third? 3 bullets, 32 HP. Not quite. Pike coming running in to take down Zara and gets the defuse, putting us at 8 10 as our scoreline. Zara, like a lot of members on their team, they're having a lot of very, very close opportunities to clutch out rounds, but not quite securing them. And I mean, yeah, again, Blaha had such an incredible round, getting another 4 picks. You know, they have 28 kills already, and we still have multiple rounds left for us on the board. I'm really interested to see how the rest of this game is going to play out, especially if Blaha is playing this well.
Absolutely. It's lovely to see, obviously, Bubble Bath and Blaha doing so well this week. I am, however, a little bit concerned of how close Bubble Bath are winning these rounds. Obviously, last round we had a 1v3 that got into a 1v1 at the end, but Zara Kitten's definitely still being able to find these picks, even in those odds, I think is definitely quite a scary thing for Bubble Bath. As obviously we're seeing Sakura, Showstopper coming out, gets a satchel pack. Are we going to find anything?
No, they're not, unfortunately. Queen of Spades taking down Sakura, and Aetana taking down Gap as well, getting the horn into tree, looking to see if they can find anyone there. The lockdown does come out from Zara and Kittens as well, and, you know, Liz kind of pushing through tree here as well, forcing Bubble Bath off of this site. It's looking like Zara and Kittens are going to be able to push the site and get the spike down.
Yeah, numbers looking good so far for Bubble Bath. Haven't lost any players. Getting a lovely 2 picks there, and it's a 1v5 for Zara Kittens. Are Bubble Bath going to start for any collateral? And no, they do not. Bubble Bath. I take back what I said. Zara and Kittens found herself at position again with unfavourable odds, obviously, in that 1v5. Bubble Bath were able to close out that round in a lovely flawless, and stocks have gone up, I think. They're not suffering too much in the economic crisis.
Definitely, I agree. A lovely, beautiful, flawless round from the side of Bubble Bath. We got to see a flawless round from Zara and Kittens earlier on in this game, and now we see one from Bubble Bath. And I mean, if we look at the ultimates that are available here, Bubble Bath do have 2 very, very important ultimates on their side. They have the Showstopper from Queen of Spades, and they have the Nightfall from Aetana as well. I mean, those are 2 very, very big ultimates that can have a lot of impact within the round. So with only 2 rounds left for them to win this game, we're going to have to see how exactly they use that to their advantage. We see Zara and Kittens kind of running a bit more of a default. We have, you know, 3 members over towards the seaside, and we have 2 more over towards A, just looking to get a bit more information about where the members of Bubble Bath are. Luna kind of chilling more towards the backside of B. But, I mean, it's looking like the person with the spike is just kind of rotating towards A side.
Yeah, I think it's definitely nice to see Zara and Kittens playing a bit more split. Obviously, Bubble Bath still holding his angle, still playing a little bit slowly. Haven't gotten aggressive on it yet, as Zara and Kittens are slowly walking up, though. Liz Chef got a good few picks before. Are we going to see it again? Although I think Bubble Bath now know that they're looking for this A site here.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously the important thing to point out is the fact that Zara and Kittens do not have many weapons in their artillery. The Nightfall does come out from Aetana on the side of Bubble Bath. Both of the Prowlers going out as well, just forcing Zara and Kittens to push all the way back. But it's looking like Zara is on the flank already, taking down Pike. Paranoia comes out as well and does hit Zara, and Zara not quite able to get any more picks or any more damage off. But I mean, it's looking like Zara and Kittens are going to be able to get this site and get this spike down, which is going to give them a very big advantage. They do have the Rolling Thunder online from Liz, but also Bubble Bath still have the Showstopper. Aetana taking Sakura down right away. Blaha also taking down Gap by shooting through the box. Cinder getting 1, but not quite able to finish anyone off. Luna getting a pick onto Zara. Liz taking down 1, but not quite able to finish it off. Luna getting the defuse, and this puts Bubble Bath on map point.
Yeah, I think Bubble Bath, obviously, they did use that fade ult initially in that round. However, they've got the Omen ult, they have the Killjoy defensive lockdown, and they have the Raze Showstopper. Zara and Kittens, they've got the Breach ult. We're going to have to see, obviously, how they make use of this Breach utility, and from the rest of the team members. I think that Bubble Bath, obviously, on the defensive side, that Killjoy utility and that lockdown, it's match point and map point. So I think that, absolutely, that's going to be a crucial ult. I think that it's looking pretty optimistic for Bubble Bath, obviously. However, in those previous rounds, Zara and Kittens have found themselves in those odds and still been able to find those picks and even close out the round sometimes. I think Bubble Bath shouldn't get too confident.
definitely, and we see the Rolling Thunder come out from Liz almost instantly. Luna not quite getting hit by it. The Paranoia does come out looking to hit Luna, hiding towards Waterfall, but they still don't quite know that she's here. Cinder might actually fall to Luna if they don't check their corners. I mean, Luna and Pike getting picks, but Liz trading back right away. It's a 3v3. The showstopper does come out from Queen of Spades, taking down Sakura, and Blah taking down Liz. Zara is in a 1v3. Gets two, or gets one, sorry, but gets taken down by Pike. Map 1 is going to Bubble Bath.
Yeah, very interesting map there. I think that obviously Bubble Bath Lotus was their pick. I believe next we're going into Haven, where Bubble Bath will be starting on the attack. Haven, we saw last week, didn't go too well for Bubble Bath that time, obviously in a 0-2. They did lose on that map. However, 0-1 up to Bubble Bath. Definitely going to be interesting to see how they play on Haven this time around. What do you think we're going to see for Zara and Kitten? Do you think that's going to be a good map for them as well on the defensive side initially?
Well, obviously this is another 3-site map, so we're gonna have to see, you know, how these teams kind of spread out their utility and spread out their defenses. And I mean, it's just gonna be really interesting to see, because I mean, both of these teams played incredibly well that game. So this is gonna be very interesting to see. But I believe we are going to go to a quick break before map 2, and we will be right back with Haven.
See you soon.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the University Esports UK and Republic of Ireland Women and Non-Binary Valorant 2023 season. We have just come back from map 1, which was Lotus going to Bubble Bath, but a lot closer than our games last week. But we are going to find ourselves on Haven for this game. Now, we saw Haven last week, and we saw Bubble Bath on Haven last week. So, I mean, do you think we're going to see anything different from them this time?
I think Bubble Bath, for that initial victory, I'm hoping have a bit more spring in their step, obviously going into Haven on our second map. I think obviously last week they didn't do too good. I think they were able to pull it up a little bit more on Haven, and obviously we saw very even score lines for last map on Lotus. As you mentioned again, free site's going to be a lot of spread utility, so I think Bubble Bath hopefully maybe a bit of a confidence boost. However, obviously with those close score lines in the last map on Lotus with those free sites, going to another map with free sites might, I think we're gonna be looking at another close scoreline.
Definitely, yeah, and I mean, I think we're also going to be seeing similar team comps from Bubble Bath, at least from what we saw last week. Haven is kind of one of those maps where you tend to stick to the same sort of things because, there are certain things that work on this map and certain things that don't. I'm interested to see if Zara and Kittens are going to carry over that breach that they had Liz on from Lotus onto Haven as well, because breach can be a really, really important initiator on a map like Haven as well. You have sewers, you have those thin walkways, those thin entrances where breach utility could be really, really effective. So I'm interested to see what these guys play. But obviously we saw Bubble Bath win game 1. What do you think Zara and Kittens need to do to kind of pull through and win game 2?
I think that after the timeout initially that I had in Lotus for Zara and Kittens, I tried a bit more of an aggressive stance there, trying to push forward quite aggressively at the beginning of a round when they were on the defensive side. That still didn't end up very well for them. So I think that they've tried a lot of things. I think they're gonna have to sort of find what works for them. I think that obviously again with another map that has free sites, I think at least in the attack, I think they need to commit a little bit more, especially on Lotus previously. We saw that they backed off on a site and then went, oh no, okay, we will go to that site. I think perhaps a little bit more consistency. I think a bit more, confidence pushing into those sites and like commitment with free Cs.
Yeah, definitely. And as we get into our agent select here, we are going to be seeing the picks come through from both teams. We do have the Jets locked in for both sides. Sakura and Eterna respectfully both on those duelists. Jet being a very, very important character on a map like Haven, making sure you get those dashes, you get those aggressive pushes, and we are seeing a Sova and a Sky come out for Bubble Bath. Luna is on the Killjoy as well as an Omen as their smokes. Now, whenever I used to play Haven, I really liked Omen for this map, especially because the paranoias can be really useful, and there are some really nice places where you can TP, especially if you think of B-side and the higher ground that you have within like the middle of the site. And we are seeing Zara and Kittens come through with the Sova and the Breach. Now, the Breach is being carried over from Lotus, but we're seeing Gap play instead of Liz, whereas Liz is on the Sova. I think this is going to be really, really interesting to see.
Absolutely, I agree with you there. I think that the Breach pick is definitely going to be a good one for Haven, as you mentioned with sewers. There's a lot of good utility spots for Breach to put their flashes through for concussive blast. I think that what we're probably going to be looking at is obviously the Killjoy anchoring down that C site, and then Breach making use of those small angles and corners on that A site. I think as opposed to the Sky that Bubble Bath have opted to pick for, I think that is going to be a bit more interesting, as obviously they quite like this Sky pick. I think we're going to have to see obviously how that plays out for them on Haven with the flashes and obviously the Trailblazer. I think that it's just a bit different utility really as opposed to Breach. Obviously, where you get that you've got that versatility and that flexibility with the flashes.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we are seeing Zara and Kitten start on the defense yet again. We do actually have chips in this time as well. Glad they could make it. But we're gonna see how Zara and Kittens kind of hold these sites and use all their utility to their advantage. They have the Killjoy, they have the Omen. The Sova, especially on this map, is going to be really, really interesting. But something that I'm curious about is how the Sky and the Breach are going to differ. Because obviously they are the only two characters on these teams that differ from each other. So I'm interested to see what we do with these two different agents. And as we, we do get into a little bit of a tech pause. Evelyn, I'm curious what you think is going to happen in this game.
I think like you touched on I think like you touched on there, I think that the difference in picks between the Sky and the Breach are definitely going to be interesting, as obviously for the rest of the picks we have a very mirrored composition. We have the Sova, like you spoke about, we have the Jet, which I think is obviously going to be very important for the entering onto site, and I think that, I really would like to see what these two teams make with the utility from those unique picks. Obviously, I think that the Breach play for Zarya Kittens is a different one from Liz that we saw the previous map, so maybe they have their Breach main back on their favourite character.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're seeing Queen of Spades switch over from that Raze onto the server as well. We saw something similar last week from the side of Bubble Bath, but Blaha getting two lovely opening picks onto Chips and Liz, but Zara just trying to defend this site as much as possible, but unfortunately runs out of bullets, and Pike getting a pick onto Zara as well. It's already a 2v4 for the side of Zara and Kittens, and I mean, Sakura does take down one, but gets almost executed by Pike here. That was a lovely, lovely shot, and we see Gab in a 1v3 already. They do have a blind, they do have a stun, but is it going to look like they're going to be able to clutch this out? No, not quite. Pistol round, yet again, goes to Bubble Bath.
Absolutely. Bubble Bath, great seeing them take that pistol round. Obviously going to this next round, gonna have a bit more of a stronger economy, and therefore hopefully with stronger loadouts. I think that Bubble Bath played that one quite well. Obviously that round was played out very quickly. I think that I blinked, the spike was down already, and obviously Bubble Bath were able to clear up the rest of Zara and Kittens. I think that it's good to see at Bubble Bath finally that initial first round, finally that quick hit. Might be something that they look to repeat obviously in the future. I think obviously with the economy we can see the buys from both the teams, as Bubble Bath looking to have obviously the stronger loadout. And so we're going to have to see now 3 seconds left. Are they going to look for a B push? But obviously we're not looking too much towards the site right now, but we'll have to find out, as I believe we're actually in a pause. So yeah, going to have to see what their plan is.
We get a lovely view of a little buddy here while we wait for Aetona to reconnect. Shout out to Mayonnaise, our lovely observer, for getting these beautiful shots for us here in
And the bananas.
And the bananas. I wonder how long they've been sitting there actually. They do
Yeah,
look
they
very old.
quite orange. Yeah. Quite orange,
They do
quite
look very
brown.
old, very old.
Maybe Breach has burnt them by the amount of times that he's thrown his flash in sewers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now that we are ready and back into the game, Aetona has returned. We are finally going to get to see what this push is going to be. Liz going with a lovely little recon dot down A main as per usual. Does actually get the ping onto Aetona as well. We do see Bubble Bath with their force buy looking up to be stacked with Bulldogs. I mean, Zara Kittens don't have much either, but we're seeing great util usage from Bubble Bath trying to get this entry onto the A site. Blaha also looking to go down sewers, get a bit more space going through, as they are going with the server as well. Chips kind of jiggle peeking the angle, trying to see where the members of Bubble Bath are coming from, and does smoke it off, but I mean, Queen of Spades is just going to walk right through. But what they don't know is that Sakura has a shorty in hand, but gets taken down by Blaha straight away, and Pike does go down. Gab does get a pick onto Aetona, but I think that might be they may have lagged. But Zara is in a 1v4 with only a ghost in hand. Wow, this round has been also very, very quick already.
Absolutely. It feels like blink, spike down already on A site. Blink again. I think that obviously, if I blink, I might miss Zara pushing that corner. Blaha doesn't quite spot them. Zara getting a bit onto site, does get spotted, and it's a quick and easy cleanup for Bubble Bath. Obviously, with the force buy there, definitely proving beneficial for Bubble Bath in that round. However, very early, Zara Kittens, they had the Sova recon dart, and Bubble Bath got caught out very early. They even had some members from Zara Kittens obviously rotate to hold that A site, and they still fell apart. Bubble Bath was still able to find his picks, get the spike down, and obviously, just like that, round's already over, and Bubble Bath are now 2 up.
Absolutely, yeah, we're seeing another early lead from the side of Bubble Bath, which is something that we didn't quite see last week from them. But obviously we're seeing a similar setup from Liz come through. Again, we get to see where that recon dot exactly goes. But we are seeing Bubble Bath be a bit more split up, almost running a default, but not quite. We do have the Killjoy turret looking towards Garage and looking towards that grass area, just to make sure that no one on the side of Zara and Kittens is pushing up towards there, trying to flank. But as we see now, we do see that the members of Bubble Bath are looking towards to push more towards that seaside. We do have Zara holding it with her Killjoy utility, just, you know, trying to hold this site for as long as they can. Obviously, Zara and Kittens do now have this this stronger buy. Aetana coming through with only a ghost in hand, but the rest of Zara and Kittens do have stronger artillery to their name. But this was a lovely little execute from the side of Bubble Bath. You know, we see the paranoia, we see the smokes, we see the blinds, we see the recon drones as well. Zara does spot that recon drone and avoids the shock dart, but nearly, well, no, all members of Bubble Bath are just falling back to see main.
Yeah, very nice entry there from Bubble Bath. Obviously, the jet dash on site, they have the Omen smokes down, and before you know it, spikes down. Obviously, now we've got Bubble Bath backing off there and just biding their time as they get very nice 2 picks there, 3 picks, and Bubble Bath. Okay, they played that one very nicely there in the beginning. They did like quite textbook. Obviously, they got the spike down, played the seed long. Zara and Kittens coming in very nicely there, obviously being able to find those picks there at the end and said, pros don't fake, we're going to stick the spike and we're going to kill the rest of you on seed long. And again, quite a quick round, but not for Bubble Bath that time, as they found themselves on the receiving end of those quick picks.
Definitely, and I mean, Zara and Kittens had a lovely little cleanup there, just coming right through with that retake. I mean, Zara and Kittens last map as well, they were looking very, very clean with their retakes. It's looking like Luna is going to be placing the same Killjoy turret to just make sure that no one is pushing through that garage door. We do see that Bubble Bath are situated more towards the A side, but no one's really pushing. Whereas Sakura here, almost looking like they're on attack. They're looking to push up a bit more and get some important information. But obviously the blind coming through from Pyke does spot them out, and they do go down. The push did have potential, but didn't quite get what they wanted. We're seeing Pyke come through with the Trailblazer, but doesn't quite spot the person that's sitting backside. We are seeing the recon drone come through from Liz as well, so they now know there's at least one in heaven. Liz with a lovely little shock dart trying to get some damage off, and a recon drone. Recon dart, sorry, to just make sure that they get a bit more information about where the members of Bubble Bath are. But the thing is, Zara and Kittens are already 1 member down. The blinding light does come out from Bubble Bath, but Gap takes down 2, Liz getting a 3rd, and Chip's getting the 4th as well. We are really, really seeing how well these Zara and Kittens retakes are. Luna looking to maybe get some extra picks while they can, but obviously Liz is smoked off and sticks that defuse. Another really, really clean retake from the side of Zara and Kittens there.
If you're not a good
Absolutely.
shot
Zara and Kittens, lovely retake. I think that Bubble Bath played that one well initially, obviously with that first pick. They avoided the recon dart, so obviously they did, Zara and Kittens didn't know that they were looking for that A-side hit again. Being able to find that entry pick on Sakura obviously was very beneficial, but even still, getting the spike down, I don't think Bubble Bath quite had the angles that they needed to hold. Obviously, they missed the Sova up in heaven, which at the end of the day, Zara and Kittens able to come in, clear those angles, and clear up the rest of Bubble Bath, and took that round quite nice and cleanly on the retake.
Definitely, yeah. And we're seeing a little bit more of an aggressive push towards grass here from Bubble Bath. Sakura holding this angle in sewers with an operator looking to go a bit more aggressive, but we're seeing, you know, Bubble Bath still trying to kind of figure out what exactly they're doing. They do have the space towards mid and towards grass, looking to maybe push through to B. And you know, we're seeing the recon drone come through from this as well, tagging one person towards that mid, but no one is really holding B per se, but we do have multiple members of Zara and Kittens kind of jiggle peeking, just making sure that they're not pushing through. The smoke does come down as well, and it's looking like Bubble Bath might look more towards the seaside, but they have Zara holding this garage with the Killjoy turret and, you know, with themselves as well. But while they are smoked off, all the members of Bubble Bath are just going to come trailing through to garage. Blaha pushing through, but Zara just kind of sneaking behind them, but doesn't realize
30
that they've
seconds left.
crossed with Blaha already. Wow, this is looking really, really good for the side of Bubble Bath here.
Absolutely. Lovely first pick there. Zara getting caught out so unfortunately there at that garage push. I don't think they're quite expecting it. Obviously, Blaha, lovely pick there onto Zara. Got a little bit confused, obviously. Zara not quite checking her back and being a bit unfortunate in the Omen smoke. Obviously, Zara Kittens, one down. Going to make use of that breach utility, but it's not going to matter. As 3v1 now. Zara Kittens got one with the operator. Finds one pick. Doesn't quite find two. 2v1s, Sakura with the operator. Might be able to find these odds. And we're going to have to play this one slowly. One looking on C-Long and Sova for Bubble Bath. Playing Ring Around the Rosies there on the site, but and doesn't able to find the closing of the round for Zara and Kittens. Bubble Bath lose one unfortunately to the spike. But Bubble Bath still able to find that round. I think definitely was a nice execution initially through Garage and finding that early pick. But still got a little bit close, like Zara and Kittens maybe get a pick or so that perhaps they shouldn't. Obviously it would have been nice, I think, to see those smokes from Omen be used a little bit more to make sure that that operator didn't get a sight line. However, I didn't expect to see an operator this early quite on this map from Sakura. Do you think that they're going to pull it out a bit more? I mean, obviously they can't with this economy, but...
I mean, the shots from Sakura were looking very, very nice, and we see them pull out the Bladestorm as well, looking to get some quick and easy picks onto the members of Bubble Bath. Obviously, the Bladestorm being really, really good to use on the save rounds and on those ecos, but Sakura does get one, gets two! Blaha trading back Sakura as well, but Gab gets a third as well. A lovely shot with the Sheriff. I mean, it's a 4v2 for Zara and Kittens, and they're the ones that are on the weaker economy here, so this is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Queen of Spades is looking still more towards the seaside, and so is Pike. Never mind, they're looking like they're going to be rotating, but what they don't know is that there's two members of Zara and Kittens kind of holding this entrance towards A side, almost cross-firing with each other, but maybe Bubble Bath are going to be looking more towards that B side. Whoa, never mind. They're really not really making up their mind. And Zara getting a lovely pick onto Queen of Spades as well. Taking them down with a lovely headshot and then a body shot. It's all up to Pike with this spike looking towards Seaside. And I mean, they're surrounded. They have the Sova and the Killjoy on one side. They have the Breach and the Omen on the other. This is looking pretty unwinnable for the side of Bubble Bath.
I hope that Pike is just going to be able to do what Pike does, get some nice flash here, but isn't able to find anything with it. As Bubble Bath, 3-3, even scoreline so far. I think that Zara and Kittens were able to use that round quite nicely, but using the ults to their advantage. Obviously, they were on the weaker economy for that round, and Sakurai being able to use that Bladestorm, find those two picks initially, made that round so much more favourable to them, despite going into that round with obviously the weaker economy. And obviously now the flip side, we have Bubble Bath having to save and having a much weaker loadout, as opposed to obviously this thing, Liz lined up that recon dart again, and Zara Kittens having a much better loadout.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're seeing Sakura come through with that operator again and getting a lovely pick onto Blaha. I mean, that's looking good for Zara and Kittens already, as we've seen Blaha has been the person that's been really killing everyone on the side of Zara and Kittens the most. Blaha not exactly playing the most fragging character out there, but is definitely fragging themselves. But like we said, Sakura with this operator has had some very, very good shots, especially on the defense. So it's looking like they might be pulling out this operator a bit more. Zara and Kittens with the player advantage here. The Rolling Thunder is online as well, but then the Seekers are online for the side of Bubble Bath as well. Chips looking more towards this garage area as the Killjoy turret has gone off, but it's looking like Bubble Bath are gonna come trailing in more towards the B side. Gab trying to get a cheeky little headshot off, cheeky little, you know, headbutt shot off onto Bubble Bath. The blinds do come through, the stun comes through as well, but Gab is just so blinded that they get taken down by 5 chips. Does get the pick onto Aetana. Saka getting a pick onto Luna, and Liz cleaning it up with the final 2. Wow, Zara and Kittens actually have the lead in this series here.
Absolutely. Sakura pulling out the operator, getting a nice lovely pick there at the beginning, meaning that Bubble Bath, even with the weaker economy, I mean, they played very close together on that B site, weren't able to really find anything. But obviously now we're looking at Sakura with the operator and a lot more even loadouts for both teams. Obviously, Sakura being able to find these initial picks has proved very detrimental so far for Bubble Bath. Looking on this A site, as again we're seeing Sakura, I believe, looking at sewers. So Bubble Bath liking this A site so far, but Sakura in their sights. And they might be seeing some return fire with the operators. They find a lovely first shot there. Bubble Bath 4v5 again at the beginning of this round.
Yeah, I mean, Sakura with this operator is just so good. And I mean, they're kind of just holding the same angle every round, and Bubble Bath is still getting caught out by it. A lovely little recon drone from Liz coming through, looking and getting those pings off to just tell the rest of her team where exactly everyone else is. A lovely little cloud burst, but Sakura taking down Queen of Spades already, maybe possibly looking to get another pick. They avoid the paranoia and live on 21 HP. It is a 5v3 for the side of Zara and Kittens here. Bubble Bath do have the Omen ult, but then so does Zara and Kittens, and they also have a Rolling Thunder in hand. This round is, I mean, I don't want to call anything too early, but this is going to be a rough retake for the side of Bubble Bath. Wait, does Chips see the Omen like? No! Oh, but she takes him down anyways. Wow, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the Omen like was just slightly peeking out of the smoke, and I was wondering if Chips was going to see it. A lovely little pick onto A-Turner as well. Chips with the 3K to finish off the round. Sorry, go ahead, Evelyn.
Oh no, it's all good. You're always welcome to interrupt me for Blaha, obviously. Quite the fragger, been doing very good, obviously, in that previous Lotus map. To see him go down, obviously, to Chips. Quite sad, obviously, Blaha being the main fragger, and, you know, they're not on the jet roll, but... Oh, timeout now looking for Bubble Bath, I believe. I think Bubble Bath, obviously, with those initial quick hits at the beginning, proved very well for them with the pistol round and with the 4 spy round. However, now that Zara and Kittens are being able to read it a bit better, they're playing on that A site, they've got the recon dart, and they've got Sakura with the operator. You know, they nearly killed Sakura that round. I think had they shut them down, I think that would have proved a bit of a different outcome for that previous round. However, Sakura, just such a problem for them right now with this operator that I think Bubble Bath really got to find a way in this timeout to shut them down.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, operators, they're always kind of an issue, especially if you have someone on the enemy team who's good at using this operator as well. And Sakura being on the jet also just makes it so much better for Zara and Kittens to kind of make sure that they can use this operator to their advantage. But Bubble Bath do have 4 ultimates on their side. They have the Seekers, they have the Bladestorm, they have the Hunter's Fury, and they have the Omen TP as well. This is going to be really interesting to see how they can use this on this attack, to see if they can get any more rounds on the board. We do see A-Turner popping the Bladestorm straight away, as people usually do on their save rounds, looking to maybe just get a bit of damage off, at least onto the side of Zara and Kittens, just to make sure that they can try and cause a little bit of damage at least. Just a little bit. But it's looking like we're seeing a bit of a split from the side of Bubble Bath, maybe trying to play and look just a bit more playing for picks. We are seeing, obviously, Zara and Kittens all spread out, holding their sides respectively, but we do see Sakura holding this B side now. Bubble Bath know that Sakura is not positioned towards the A side as they've cleared out all the angles where they could possibly be on A. But, I mean, now we see Sakura rotating towards this A side, looking to maybe get another angle on the A side, looking towards sewers to see if anyone pushes up quite through there. And it's looking like this might be an A site hit for the side of Bubble Bath. What do you think about this, Evelyn?
I mean, Liz was over once again up in heaven. This is what caused that good retake from Zara and Kittens to be successful. Bubble Bath need to check this, and Sakura now on this site. Seeks are going to come out, obviously. They're not going to know the Sova's up there. Sakura's going to get out for now, the operator. But Liz being able to find that pick there. Spike's going to begin to go down now. Good few shock darts, but it's going to go down anyway. Bubble Bath now in a 4v5 with Zara and Kittens, as they're going to look to try and play this retake.
Definitely, yeah. We do see the Rolling Thunder come out from Zara and Kittens. I believe Liz getting a lovely pick onto Blaha as well. Luna and A-Turner just simply left, and Pike simply left with Sheriffs in their hand. Chips is on the defuse. Liz getting a lovely third pick, getting a 4th, and Zara taking the ace from her. A beautiful, beautiful, flawless round from the side of Zara and Kittens there.
Absolutely beautiful, but shame on you, Zara, for stealing the ace. No, I'm joking. But yeah, absolutely. Beautiful retake. I think that Zara and Kitten's definitely be able to find a lot more pace and success as opposed to the opening rounds. Definitely being able to read Bubble Bath a lot more. Obviously, Bubble Bath on this A site, they've had the spike down, but Zara and Kittens being able to find those picks, and Bubble Bath have had to back up. Zara Kittens using the Omen smokes, using that utility, using that breach ult, obviously. They're finding a lot more success in these retakes. I think that Bubble Bath definitely need to be doing something to stop finding themselves in this position.
Yeah, definitely. We are seeing a yet again another slower pace from the side of Bubble Bath trying to gather towards this grass area and this garage area. Zara holding it yet again with the Killjoy utility on the B side as well, and the turret placed more towards the connection between C and garage. Zara just jiggle peeking that garage window, looking to make sure that there's no one here. But Sakura, as deadly as they are, holding this seaside, getting Queen of Spades down, getting the spike down as well. Zara getting some information about people who are on garage, but Aetona taking them down straight away. The blind does come through from Pike, and I mean, Sakura is looking a bit stuck here. Oh, but does take down Pike at the same time, but that dash doesn't quite get them out. Luna getting a pick onto Sakura yet again, and Aetona takes the operator out of their hands, and it's a 2v3 for the side of Zara and Kittens. Blaha taking the spike as well, and it's looking like Bubble Bath are gonna be able to get the plant here. The Killjoy utility is set up, Aetana is set up towards this seaside, but the Hunter's Fury comes through and just completely stops the plant from coming through. We did see the breach stun come through as well, and Blaha has been tagged. The Killjoy turret has spotted the two members of Zara and Kittens towards CT, and I mean the aftershock taking down Gab. Luna placed towards Logs, and Liz takes Luna down and ends the round. Wow, that was looking like Bubble Bath were maybe gonna have the advantage, but no, Liz coming through and clutching and getting a 7th round on the board for Zara and Kittens.
Absolutely. Bubble Bath looking pretty good at the beginning of that site. Obviously, they were able to find a nice little pick there on their way through garage. Were able to finally shut down Sakura and the operator, but not before they took one down with them. But obviously, as you can see now with the buy, operator goes straight back into hand. It's such a problem for them. I think that letting Sakura being able to even get those picks, even with the trade, I think is proving too detrimental for Bubble Bath. Sakura needs to be shut down quite quickly. I think that obviously they're being able to find these beginning picks and putting Bubble Bath immediately into a 4v5. It's forced them into firstly a weaker economy, I believe, and also, you know, less favourable odds even in those favours when Zara and Kittens are pushing for that retake.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the economy on the side of Zara and Kittens is looking so good, but the economy for Bubble Bath is not as good. We are seeing Pike get the plant, but Zara is looking to get this lockdown activated and allow Zara and Kittens to get a good push through. Chips barely avoiding this Killjoy turret, but Blaha just knows. Liz getting a lovely 2 picks onto 2 people on Bubble Bath as well, though. But then the lockdown does come through for the attackers as well, and Sakura just getting picks one by one. Gab unfortunately getting detained, but Liz is still on the side. Sakura is towards main. A lovely pick from Blaha. They get the 4th. Are they going to be able to get the ace? Sakura does get the pick, and Blaha gets the ace, securing the round for Bubble Bath. Wow, we've been talking about Blaha all day so far, and they have just looked incredible. Wow, what a round, Evelyn.
Absolutely, what an amazing round there for Blaha. Got 2 4Ks in the previous map and was finally able to close out on the ace, on Sakura of all people as well. Blaha proving to be the counter to Sakura. A very, very nice ace there from them. And Bubble Bath finally finding themselves perhaps a tiny bit more in the frame. I mean, Sakura again buying this operator, but a very nicely played round from Bubble Bath there. Hopefully puts a bit more spring in their step on how they're going to deal with Sakura.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, Sakura just has enough money to buy a new operator straight away. Like we said, the economy for the side of Zara and Kittens was looking really, really good. But Zara and Kittens have a very good lead here round-wise, and especially if they win this one, they are going to be 4 rounds up on Bubble Bath, which is, I mean, it's better than what we had last game. We were tied 6 apiece at the half, so we're just gonna have to see Bubble Bath gathering towards this garage and towards grass yet again. The Blade Storm getting popped by Zara and Kitten, sorry, the Blade Storm getting popped just to kind of secure this, just to secure so that Sakura has an alternative weapon option in case they either miss their shot or they get too close range to be able to use the operator. But now the Bubble Bath have spotted out the op, they are going to be moving site straight away because, I mean, Evelyn, I don't know about you, but I would
30
not want to
seconds
fight
left.
Sakura.
Absolutely not. Good read there from Eterna seeing the operator staying down at C-Long going, nope, I'm not going to do it. However, do they know Zara and Kitten's on the flank, on the behind, as you know, we're seeing Bubble Bath look at this heavy and fast push. With a few seconds left of the clock, they're going to be getting spiked down, but with a player coming up behind them, this could fall to pieces very quickly.
It could do. And I mean, we're in a 4v5 Zara taking down the Killjoy turret as well. But there's just so many members of Bubble Bath in mid. And I don't know if Zara knows that Pyke is here too. Just gets taken down straight away. But Chips does get 2 of them, getting the smokes down, trying to make sure that they can have at least some sort of chance of defusing the spike. But I mean, Liz is just in the smoke with the operator gap, getting a good few picks. And it's looking like Chips is just going to stick this. This was an incredible cleanup from Zara and Kittens, leaving us at 8-4 at the half. Wow, what a round.
Absolutely. Bubble Bath looked C initially, saw Sakura there, that operator went, nope, we'll go for B. But with only a little bit of time left in back round, had 14 seconds to get onto that B site, meaning that they had to do it quite quickly, got the spike down, and then Zara and Kittens being able to come back in on that retake and obviously clean up. We saw Zara over flank, didn't go too successful, and obviously got picked off by Bubble Bath. I really thought that Bubble Bath were going to be able to hold that, but Zara and Kittens being able to clean up the remaining members from Bubble Bath and able to take that round, even without Sakura the operator. Obviously, we saw them rotate quite quickly after they realised that, and read the fact that Bubble Bath weren't going to be pushing C-Long now they had seen that operator. I think that obviously Zara and Kittens maybe not needing the operator so much, and even though it's still proving detrimental for Bubble Bath, I think that proving that Sakura's not needed as much to need the rounds, you know, Zara and Kittens with a strong lead on Bubble Bath, it's not looking too good for them right now. I think they might have to change something up. Obviously, they're looking to go for A, which they've had a bit of success on before, but we're going to have to see how this plays out, as I believe we're in another tech pause, unfortunately, as somebody's PC has crashed.
That is not exactly the most ideal thing, obviously, but it's okay. We've had our fair share of technical issues today, but obviously we are here to talk about things. It's looking like, well, actually, never mind. Our teams are ready. We have 10 seconds left until this round starts. Obviously, we're now seeing Zara and Kittens on the attack. So it's gonna see, well, no, we're gonna see just how they play out this attacking round. And it's looking like, I mean, they're going very aggressive on the pistol round. Eterna not quite able to get the picks off that they were probably hoping, and Chips taking down Pyke straight away. Sakura going in with the entry, dashing through. The Omen smokes coming through as well. Eterna, yet again, not quite hitting the shot that they were probably hoping. Liz just taking down every single member. Sakura getting a lovely pick onto Luna, and it's just all up to Blaha. Now, I mean, 2 members of Zara and Kittens are very low. Blaha has full HP, and I mean, we've seen Blaha pull off some insane things during this tournament. So, I mean, you never quite know what's going to happen, but they're aware that someone's in graffiti. But I mean, Zara and Kittens are just holding crossfires all over this site. It's, I mean, they're looking like they're trying to do a fake TP, but it's not quite worked out because of the recon dart. And Zara and Kittens know that Blaha is still here. The alarm bottles come out as well, but no shots are connecting, and it's just looking like it's not gonna be enough for Blaha. 9-4. An incredible pistol round for the side of Zara and Kittens. I mean, it was just another cleanup, I think.
Absolutely. Bubble Bath not being able to find that pistol round there, definitely gonna not looked too good for them so far going into this second round in the half. I think Zara and Kittens, obviously, they played that one quite nicely onto the A side as Bulbath looked to play a bit more aggressively on that sewers and weren't able to find anything, meant that they had to back up, and Zara and Kittens were able to move forward and indeed just clean up really on that round.
Absolutely, yeah. And now we're seeing Zara and Kittens on their fourth round. Obviously, we're seeing Bubble Bath on the weaker side, and especially having the weaker weapons on defense as well is not always the most ideal, especially on a map like Haven where there's a lot of longer angles where those more aggressive and more expensive weapons can really be used to Zara and Kitten's advantage here. Poor Luna solo holding Seaside with only a classic in hand, whereas it's looking like Zara and Kittens are gonna go for an execute on the Seaside. The Killjoy utility does get taken down, but I mean, we're seeing the members of Bubble Bath all collectively come rushing towards that Seaside, and I mean, Zara and Kittens, they're just falling back from it. They don't want any part of this fight at all.
Absolutely. Sakura and the rest of Zara and Kittens rotating very quickly. With Bulbath, all the members rotate at Seaside very quickly. And obviously we're seeing Zara and Kittens now look for their A site again as the rest of the members of Bulbath are coming around to face them. That's a little bit slower, as obviously we're seeing the rest of Zara and Kittens.
30 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, we're
Spike going down. Since beginning to make their way onto site, and
no, it is we are seeing this spike going down for Zara and Kittens here. We're seeing a lot of utility come through for both Bubble Bath and Zara and Kittens, but Bubble Bath trying to get the retake here, but it's just looking like Zara and Kittens are going to be too strong with those Guardians and Bulldogs, and then picking up those stronger weapons for themselves, as obviously we saw that Bubble Bath had those stronger weapons in hand. So, I mean, they're just picking up free upgrades, and I mean, it's looking really, really good for the side of Zara and Kittens. I mean, what do you think of that round, Evelyn?
I think that Zara and Kittens so far, with the pistol round under their sleeve and with the second round under their sleeve, Zara and Kittens with a very dominant lead so far. I mean, they're looking pretty successful so far in this half, and I think that, you know, they did swap, but going back to that A site, I think that that's proven very beneficial for them. I think them proving that they can be successful on this attack so far and not just the defense, I think is definitely proving to be a bit of a struggle for Bubble Bath, especially with that lead.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, a 6-round deficit is definitely going to knock down your confidence just a little bit, especially with how dominant Zara and Kittens have been playing this series, this game so far. Obviously, it was looking a bit more shakier for them previous game, but, you know, we are just going to be, we're gonna have to see how Zara and Kittens play this out, you know, with their free upgrades. Their economy is looking great. They have full utility, full loadouts, and, you know, Luna getting a lovely pick onto Sakura, but does get stunned, so Gab takes it down. But Blaha picking off Liz straight away as well. But Gab taking down Queen of Spades almost immediately. Pike's Trailblazer not quite getting anything. They got information, but not getting the stun they'd want. Zara is trying to kind of hide, but Blaha just taking down everyone, and they get the fourth, picking off the member of Zara and Kittens 1 by 1. Blaha, yet again, going crazy for the side of Bubble Bath.
Absolutely. Another good few kills picked up there by Blaha, really putting the duelist role, I think, to shame a tiny bit. Obviously, no hate to anyone on Bubble Bath. Blaha definitely doing pretty good, I think, so far, those picks. I think that Bubble Bath did good there on that round, and were able to find those picks onto Zara and Kittens and trade out. I think that it was very good how they made use of the Omen utility, as well as obviously Bubble Bath not getting too greedy, and I think swinging with 2 players and not taking the risks as they did, I think, on Lotus, when Zara and Kittens were able to find a little bit more of their perhaps they should have.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, you know, the confidence, sure, it's there, but sometimes Zara and Kittens might have a bit too much overconfidence, which then causes them to make silly mistakes that, you know, maybe things like overextending and that kind of thing, which obviously just leads to them falling one by one, especially with a player like Blaha on the side of Bubble Bath still alive. They're capable of so much, taking down so many players, and it can get really rocky really fast. But we're seeing Zara and Kitten's position up more towards B, more towards mid. We have a few people towards window as well, and Saka kind of keeping an eye on that A site, making sure that no one comes pushing through. But it's looking like it's going to be a C split, with maybe perhaps some people, maybe just Zara, pushing through that garage as well. We do have the Omen on the side of Bubble Bath keeping an eye on that garage as well. But Eterna here with the high ground, looking to maybe get a clean pick off at the beginning, but just misses their shot. The recon dot coming in from Liz as well. Sakura getting the entry onto site. Paranoia does come out from the Omen on the enemy team, but Blaha taking down Zara as well. This is looking really... Well, this is looking very close, actually, because while Zara and Kittens do get the spike down, they're down a player. They're down two. It's a 3v5 for Zara and Kittens. Bubble Bath, they have so much time. Saka getting a pick onto Luna, but Queen of Spades trading straight away. It's all up to Gab, but it's all up to Liz. Gab getting a lovely pick. Blaha getting one as well. It's Gab versus Blaha. Gab has very little HP and gets taken down by Blaha straight away. Wow, that was a really good retake from the side of Bubble Bath yet again.
Absolutely. Bubble Bath finding that initial pick there in garage definitely opened up around, I think, a bit more to them. And then obviously, from that garage, they're able to use that Sky utility coming around from CT's side, able to get those picks, and obviously trade out any for the side of Zara and Kittens. I think that obviously, like you said, Bubble Bath finally being able to find a little bit of confidence back in these rounds with 2 wins back to back. They're finally entering the game a little bit more as Zara and Kittens' lead on them getting a little bit smaller.
Yeah, I mean, Bubble Bath are definitely climbing back up from the trenches, I'd say. They're now only at a 4-round deficit instead of a 6. But Sakura getting a lovely pick onto Blaha straight away, looking to get some early aggression and just get those numbers down as fast as they can. Give them as much of an advantage as they can get. And Liz taking down Pike. Liz also taking down Luna, and Sakura is just pushing in but falls to Queen of Spades. And Liz takes him down, and I mean, the spike didn't even go down, and all members of Bubble Bath are already dead. That round just went by so quickly. I mean, they didn't even get the spike down. So, I mean, what do you think about that one, Evelyn?
I mean, Zara Kittens, obviously, we've seen from a previous map that they're able to find these picks in these, like, 1v3, 1v5 scenarios. We know that Zara and Kittens are able to, I mean, shoot and click heads where it matters, I suppose. I think Zara and Kittens, obviously, they saw that Bubble Bath had 2 rounds up. They're like, nope, not today. Run and gun them down quickly and efficiently, obviously. That round over before it started.
Definitely, and I mean, we're getting closer and closer to match point for Zara and Kittens. 11-6 is our scoreboard. Eterna and I mean Queen of Spades and Blaha all looking to push up more towards Garage, but Zara and Kittens are prepared for them to kind of push through and looking to see if any of them are going to overextend, but they're more doing this just for the information. Eterna getting some heals up from Pike, but Zara takes down Blaha straight away after they whiff quite a few sheriff shots, I'd say. And now Zara and Kittens are just sprinting their way over to A side to hopefully get this side and get this spike down to put them on match point.
Absolutely. Sakura with the Blaze Storm coming out as Zara and Kittens are going to look to get spike down, hopefully on this A site. And Bubble Bath going to have to be playing this in a retake. Sakura doesn't have the operator this time as a Blaze Storm in hand as the Omen smokes have come out, and we're going to have to wait time and see what Bubble Bath going to do in this 4v5. Numbers not looking too good for this retake.
Definitely, yeah, the Trailblazer does get some information out and does get a stun on the Omen in hell. But obviously, Bubble Bath, they have those weaker weapons, and Sakura, Liz, and Gab are just taking them down one by one, and Gab gets a lovely finishing pick onto Luna, and we have ourselves on match point for Zara and Kittens. It's looking like this is going to go to a game 3.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd see it. I believe the next map is Ascent, should we go there, unless Blaha, our godsend, comes out with like a good couple picks, hopefully, in these next few rounds, obviously, to keep the score going, keep the dream alive. I'd like to see a bit of a comeback, obviously. Double the score right now for Zara and Kittens versus Bubble Bath, 12-6. It's not looking too good for Bubble Bath, obviously. They've got a couple of the ults online, So we're gonna have to see what they can do really so far in this defense. As Zara, you know, they've got the defensive lockdown as well coming up now for Zara and Kittens. 3 ults apiece for both sides in match point.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, it's looking like Zara and Kittens are changing up the pace just a little bit, going a tiny bit faster than we maybe have seen them in previous rounds. Looking to hit towards this A side. The Rolling Thunder does come out from Liz as well, and so does the lockdown. I mean, Zara and Kittens are just looking to invest everything into this to end this game. Sakura with a beautiful 2 opening picks, but we just have to remember the Bubble Bath still have 3 ultimates on their side. They have the Hunter's Fury, they have the Omen TP, they have the Blade Storm. It is still possible that they could get a retake off here and maybe stand a chance at taking this past 12-6. The recall dot does come out, but Sakura takes it down straight away, and time is slowly but also very quickly ticking away. Both Hunter's Furies get popped by both teams at the same time, and I mean, Sakura's just getting pick after pick. Is Sakura going to be able to finish this off with an ace? It would be great if they could, and they do. Sakura with the ace to end the game. Zara and Kittens do end up winning map 2, and we are going to a game 3.
Absolutely, very interesting to see a game 3. Obviously, Haven, that was the pick for Zara and Kittens, versus Bubble Bath, who picked Lotus first. So Ascent, going to be more of an interesting one. I think this one's probably going to be a bit more perhaps even. Obviously, the defense is definitely going to be quite strong. However, Bubble Bath and Zara and Kittens, I believe, are probably going to have pretty similar comps for this one. Obviously, we saw last week Ascent didn't go too well for Bubble Bath, but they were able to pull it back a bit more on the defense. So I think it's definitely going to come down, like it did last week, to who can play the team composition better on Ascent. Now, 1-1 up for both teams going to map 3. However, well, we will have to see what the scoreline will be after map 3, after the break. So, we'll see you in a few minutes. and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, to the Women and Non-Binary Valorant Winter 2023 playoffs. We were just on a break there, and if you didn't catch the last map, we currently have one up on each side now for Bubble Bath and Zyron Kittens. Last map we had Haven, and Zyron Kittens won that map, making it an equal score. So we are going to map 3, which is Ascent, I believe. So we'll be going to map 3. Obviously, Ascent, we've seen Bubble Bath play before. How did it go last time?
Well, obviously, Aimbot Angels were very dominant on this map. This was map 1 of the series, and this was the map where Aimbot Angels were most dominant and where Bubble Bath tended to fall quite fast. So this is going to be really interesting to see, because obviously this was neither of these teams' picks. This map was, obviously, if we pull up the map list here, this was the map pick. Well, no, this was simply just picked through process of elimination through the bans. So obviously it's going to be interesting to see how Bubble Bath play this map again, because like we said, they were looking very, very shaky on this map last week. So I don't know, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they play. But yeah, if we look at kind of the players here, we can see let's talk about some of the players here. Let's mainly talk about Blaha, I'd say, because Blaha for the side of Bubble Bath has been amazing. Like,
Absolutely.
Wow, Blaha has been doing so much for the side of Bubble Bath, and I mean, I think with a good pop off, maybe they'll be able to turn it in their favor.
Absolutely. I think Sakura and Blaha, they're the two main and key players for both of these teams. Sakura, obviously, the operator last game, be able to find a lot of picks in the opening of those rounds. Same for Blaha. We saw them get the ace as well. I mean, Sakura also got the ace, but Blaha being able to find the 4Ks and 3Ks time and time again, really proving their worth, I think, for Bubble Bath.
Absolutely, and I mean, on the side of Zara and Kittens, we have to talk about Sakura, especially on that operator last game. Insane. Absolutely incredible shots coming out from them. Insane. And I mean, they were just looking so good. But obviously, Ascent is a map that most people know how to play. It's a very simple map. There's two sides. You've got mid. There's a very typical team comp that we expect to see. And I mean, we've just got to really see how this goes. And as we get ourselves into agent selects, we're going to see if we're going to be seeing those meta map picks here.
Absolutely. Like you said, I think Ascent's a very textbook, very well-known map. I think it'll be interesting to see if we see any sort of variation. Obviously, we've seen previously Bubble Bath. They do like that Sky pick. Obviously, we can see currently that they're looking to play that KO. I think that KO is obviously the standard for that map pick. You have like the area denial, you have the utility that you can find info with. I think that KO is obviously the standard pick. You've got obviously the lockdown and the killjoy utility and the anchoring for those sites. I think that we're probably going to see very similar team compositions here, although it would be interesting to see if anyone swaps them up. Obviously, you know, it's a map that everyone knows, so do you think that there's room for perhaps a little bit of surprise in though?
Maybe. I mean, we are seeing the Brimstone come out from Pike on Bubble Bath, which I believe we did see last time, but then obviously Zara and Kittens, they have such a standard team comp. Like, when you think of team comps for Ascent, you think of this one. You think of the Chaos over Killjoy Omen Jet composition. This is like the most meta textbook, like you were saying, comp that we have seen. But we are actually seeing Bubble Bath switch it up a little bit, you know, with the Brimstone, with the Sage. We are seeing the Killjoy Jet and KO like we were expecting, but obviously the Brimstone and the Sage is going to be interesting to see how they use those different utilities to their advantage.
Absolutely, I agree. I think Brimstone was played for side of Bubble Bath last time. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they use those smokes. I think as well the Molly with the with the Brimstone ult, there's going to be a lot of possibilities versus the Omen, who's also, you know, you've got the Paranoia you can use defensively and aggressively. I think that's going to be a bit of a better pick when you're on the attack versus Brimstone, who I think is going to be a bit more easy to play defensively. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we've got the switch up in the smokes. We've also got the Sage pick, which is not something we saw last time on Ascent. So how do you think that this is going to play out?
Obviously playing the double sentinel instead of the double initiator is not often preferred, because you prefer to have that information and the utility that can kind of stall and, you know, do damage, get information, that kind of thing. But I don't know, Sage on this map can be pretty good. It can stop the enemy team from pushing sides very easily. Obviously, you have the heal, you have the resurrection for just some extra security in rounds if, say, you want to go a bit more aggressive. You have the slow ups for delay as well. So I guess if they wanted to, they could kind of play Sage like an initiator. But I mean, hey, we're just gonna have to see how this plays out, especially when they're running a double sentinel as well, which means, I mean, while they're on attack first, their defense is going to be very, very good.
Absolutely. Going back to Ascent, the last time we saw Bubble Bath play this map, defense is where they started to pick up a few more rounds. Obviously, but Angels ended up dominating them more from their attack. However, I agree. I think from defensive point of view, they might be on the attack first, but defensively, they might be able to see a few more rounds popping up, as maybe we hopefully will see a bit more of an even scoreline this game, as obviously it's quite textbook, people know how to play it, and despite the slight variation in team comps, Bubble Bath have an even stronger, perhaps arguably, defensive style comp.
Absolutely, and as we get into this game, we're seeing obviously Zara and Kittens on the defense first, and Bubble Bath on the attack first, and it's looking like this is going to be a bit of a mid-B split. We are seeing a lot of the members of Bubble Bath positioned up towards the mid area, and we have, you know, Luna and Brimstone on the side of Bubble Bath going more towards B main. The KO knife does come out, doesn't quite find anything, but there is a killjoy setup in mid here so that they can get this information. But Blaha getting a lovely pick onto Zara straight away, and I mean, Gab getting some dinks, but not quite getting the kills. It's a 2v5 already. I mean, an incredible recon draw from Liz, just pinging so many people, but gets taken down by Blaha straight away. And I mean, Chips is left in a 1v5. Obviously, two members of Bubble Bath are very low, but I mean, Blaha yet again coming in, just being so dominant in this round.
Absolutely. Blaha previously on the Omen, now put onto the Jet, the Duelist, perhaps a more fitting role for obviously all the picks we've seen them get. Azari Kittens, Chips, not in quite the favourable duel here, and a flawless pistol round for Bubble Bath. They've won their pistols before. They didn't win the pistol versus Azari Kittens in the previous map on the defending side, but Bubble Bath with a nice clean pistol round here to begin the map with, hopefully looking for a bit of a confidence boost.
Yeah, and I mean, this does mean that Bubble Bath have won 4 out of the 5 pistol rounds that we've had here. And pistol rounds, especially the first one of the game, round 1, is always really important in kind of getting economy up and kind of getting a gist for how the other team plays. So we're going to have to see what Bubble Bath are going to do off of this pistol round when we're seeing Blaha sneaking up towards that mid here. We are seeing a smoke come out in the B main. We're seeing Gab trying to hold mid, but only with a classic just kind of jiggle peeking, trying to get some information. The Killjoy turret is also there to help with that, but I mean, Bubble Bath are taking this very slow. Obviously, they do have the bigger weapons, but they're trying to clear out all the sneaky corners to make sure that Zara and Kittens aren't using any of those kind of sneaky weapons like the Shorty, like the Frenzy, and just making sure that they have a nice, clean force round.
Got one.
Absolutely, a lovely pick there at the beginning. Sorry, I'll let you do this bit.
Now, I was going to say, we do see some lovely picks coming out from Bubble Bath there. The wall does come up to block off CT as well, but there are 2 members of Zara and Kittens in Boathouse. We're seeing Liz on one side. One of them does have a Shorty as well. And I mean, Liz getting some damage off, but not quite able to take him down. Zara with the Shorty does get 1, gets 2, gets not quite 3, but a lot of damage has been put onto this Brimstone. Chips just jumping
Spike
over
planted.
this Sage wall immediately, and wow, this round is a bit closer than I think we thought. But like I was saying, those shorties are always very, very important.
Last player standing.
Absolutely, a very clean round there. Debatably a clean round actually for Bubble Bath, as obviously that shorty from Zara in the boathouse. I think Bubble Bath perhaps left boathouse a bit unchecked there. They still had to clear up a round regardless, and obviously in previous rounds with that B site, or A site, I think that obviously finding themselves stuck in boathouse, or it was B site, I don't know if my site's the same clearly. B site in the boathouse has been something that's caused Bubble Bath quite a lot of grief previously on Ascent, so I think hopefully that round will serve as a bit of a warning for Zara and Kittens. Okay, you can have your 2 picks, we're not letting it happen again. And hopefully Bubble Bath obviously not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to look for this A site this time.
Definitely, yeah, we're seeing a bit of a mix of buys from Bubble Bath here. I saw some Ghosts, some Sheriffs, but also we have Blaha on the Vandal, which, I mean, is probably the best person to give it to in this situation. We're seeing the KO Knife come out, trying to get some information, not quite. We're seeing the Brimstone and the Sage Slow Orb come through. The turret getting taken down, but Zara getting a lovely pick already. Sakura getting one as well. Queen of Spades does take down Gab. And I mean, Aetana does take down Zara as well. Sakura does take down another one, another 2. I mean, it's still a 2v1. Never mind, Chips takes down Aetana, and Zara and Kittens have their first round on the board of this game.
Very nicely played there from Zara and Kittens. I think that Bubble Bath had the right execution going in initially to that A site. They had the Brimstone smokes down, they had the Sage slow. But Zara and Kittens were able to find the picks where it matters. It doesn't matter if they're in a disadvantaged fight there, as you saw Sakura picking up the picks, even with that Sage slow hitting them regardless. I think that Zara and Kittens, one up on the board now, but obviously we've seen and they've proven time and time again, don't take us in a 1v1, because they do often win those fights, those straight gun fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's very true. I mean, Bubble Bath are good at their fighting, but so are Zara and Kittens at the same time. We are seeing Chips just kind of jump, peeking towards mid, seeing if they can get any information. Blaha taking the higher ground, still with this Vandal, looking to maybe get some extra information and catch some members of Zara and Kittens off guard. Obviously, Jet only has 1 updraft now, so you have to use that updraft very, very carefully and make sure you use it in a spot that you think is going to be beneficial to the rest of the team. But we're seeing Bubble Bath a little bit spread out here. We do see the Brimstone positioned more towards the B side, trying to get some information, whereas the Killjoy is very, very far back from the rest of the team, and the rest of Bubble Bath are kind of grouped up towards mid. Both KO Knives coming out, both getting at least some sort of information here. The Suppress does come onto Blaha, but no utility has been used so far. Gab is positioned more towards CT, trying to get some information to see if anyone pushes up through that mid. But this is looking like it's going to be a bit of a
30
tree hit
seconds
here.
left.
Absolutely, I think Bubble Bath getting caught out by those KO knives initially had a lot of Zara and Kittens looking towards mid, and also the Omen smokes coming out. Zara and Kittens are expecting this through tree, and obviously now we're seeing that first pick initially, and now time is ticking out, and numbers are looking bad for Bubble Bath, for Blaha, Soul, Lord and Saviour. Gets 1 pick, doesn't quite find the second. Zara and Kittens 2 up now, 2-2 for both sides.
Definitely, yeah, we're seeing the score being equalized slowly but surely, and I mean, we saw this in Game 1 and at the beginning of Game 2 as well. Like we said, both of these teams are at very similar skill level, and they're looking like they're going to be able to be good competition for each other. And obviously, this game is the final fight to see who is going to join Aimbot Angels in the finals next week. So this is high stakes for both teams here, but we're seeing a lot stronger of a buy from Zara and Kittens than we are from Bubble Bath. And I mean, while Bubble Bath do have the potential to be able to get some good picks off here, this round is definitely leaning more towards in the favor of Zara and Kittens.
Absolutely, I like how Bubble Bath are playing this so far, playing a little bit slow and also playing together. Obviously, they have that weaker loadout, so they got to make, I suppose, use of advantage in numbers, I suppose. Obviously, that Killjoy utility not going to be doing them any favours. As we're going to start to smoke this, obviously Blaha dashing forward. Killjoy Tuvo going to do a little bit of damage there. So I'm going to make my way onto the site. Is it going to be finding members as Chips does find Tuvo coming out for a smoke and Blaha as well. And it's just such a clean and clear-cut round for Zara and Kitten so quickly. And Blaha, the entry onto site, or entry dash through the smoke even, it was good initially getting the space forward, but it didn't quite clear the angles that they needed to. Chips sat there in the corner, waited for Bubble Bath to pass through, got the picks, and then clean up crew from there on out. A very clean win there from Zara and Kittens.
Definitely, yeah, and I mean, this round puts Zara and Kittens in the lead yet again. We're seeing them with 1 round up against Bubble Bath, which is hopefully gonna get the confidence back in for them as well. Looking to maybe go towards the A site here. Sakura is pushing up towards the B site through that garage. Just clearing out all of the corners and making sure there's no one sneaking around. And giving the rest of their team the information that there's no one around B site and that they're going to look for a hard push A. But if they also try to leave B site, there's 2 members of Zara and Kittens that are right there to catch them off guard. Obviously, they have the Killjoy turret to watch that flank, but it's looking like they're just going to be able to kind of go on through, kind of get all the information that they need for the rest of their team. And, I mean, all of Bubble Bath are kind of stuck here, and this is where they look for the entry. The Killjoy utility does go off, the null command coming out from the side of Bubble Bath as well, but Chips getting a pick onto Queen of Spades straight away. No utility is going to be able to be used from the side of Zara and Kittens, but that doesn't matter. Zara and Kittens have the man advantage. Gab getting a lovely pick onto Pike as well, but Blaha getting 1, gets 2, A-Turner getting another one as well. Sakura and Chips finishing off the rest of Bubble Bath, making this round another point on the board for Zara and Kittens.
Zara and Kitten definitely played that round quite well. A little bit close there even. Bubble Bath had a very good initial first hit. Obviously the Killjoy utility getting shut down by the null command made Bubble Bath's way onto site a lot easier. However, Zara Kittens with the flank as well. Bubble Bath found themselves in deep bubbly water quite quickly with the 2 players of Zara Kittens coming up on their flank. Blaha nearly made the round a bit more even, obviously, as there's only Chips up in the end. However, Zara and Kittens, again, in those 1v1 gunfight situations, really, they're outgunning and outdoing Bubble Bath time and time again. Blaha, our Lord and Saviour, isn't quite able to find those aces, obviously, time and time again. I do appreciate the little pizza break in our current timeout.
So do I. I could really use some right now, I can't lie. we should go on
it's a long stream.
A little trip to Ascent. You know, grab one of the bikes, go to the floating Venice Island, seeing the beautiful artwork I've actually never seen that artwork up here that's in, like, B Garage, actually.
It's quite pretty, yeah. I mean, we do see a lot of Sova lineups up there, but we don't quite appreciate the detail of it, I suppose. Or is it a couple more seconds left of a timeout? What else have you got for us, Observer?
Well, like
I'm
we
expecting
said,
to see a tiny,
a lovely Observer mayonnaise
a little
is giving us
bear.
some great shots of the cute little date that the 2 plushies are going on. How cute. But as we have 3 seconds left in the pre-round, we are going to be seeing Bubble Bath looking more towards mid. The Bladestorm does get popped by Blaha, looking to get a few more picks, or getting a few picks, looking to go a bit more aggressively. Liz getting 2 picks with the Odin, I'm assuming she got the recon dart in garage. Chips taking down Blaha as well, and Eterna taking down Chips in return. Liz going more towards the B garage and gets a 3rd. Gab finishing off. That round was also very, very fast for the side of Zara and Kittens, but they just cleaned them up, and especially with Liz with those Odin picks towards B garage at the start of the round.
Absolutely. Very standard there for the recon dart and the Odin to come out. Quite unfortunate for Bubble Bath, obviously, to get knocked down 2 players very early in that round, and Zara and Kittens just cleaning up the rest of it. Obviously, another quick round of a board. 5 rounds back to back to back to back to back for Zara and Kitten. The Bubble Bath started to look, I mean, they've got a full buy here. Loadouts are looking a bit even, but Bubble Bath aren't looking too good on the scoreboard right now. They're going to look to try and go for this A site once again.
You should run.
Definitely, yeah. Obviously, we're seeing Blaha go for this. We are seeing the lockdown get popped by Bubble Bath, looking to hopefully ease them into this side a little bit more. But Sakura, we're seeing with the operator yet again, looking to hopefully maybe get a pick or two, but unfortunately does get detained. Liz getting a kill, Zara getting a kill, well, getting 2 kills, 1 with her actual weapon and 1 with the killjoy setup, which is just incredible, protecting Sakura at all costs as they are still detained, making sure they keep their operator. But I mean, they just got absolutely ran down in this entrance, and Liz getting her 2nd and 3rd picks with that Odin.
I'm amped. Let's go.
I mean, that was
I got things to do.
I mean, there's just so many cleanups happening for the side of Zara and
Careful.
Kittens.
Absolutely. I think Headless is definitely going to have some competition on that Sova, as they were the Sova for Aimbot Angels last week, who, you know, they made use of the Odin quite a bit, and making obviously use of that B main B push. I think obviously they're going to have some contention right now with Zara Kittens, obviously. They're making quite good use of the Odin. Similarly, they're finding these picks. A Sakura operator again. This does not spell good for Bubble Bath right now.
I mean, the combination of Sakura on this operator and Liz on this Odin is just looking so good for the side of Zara and Kittens. I mean, you have 2 very long-range aggressive weapons that you can use to kind of, in different situations, to kind of get those easy picks off. And I mean, we're seeing Blah kind of running through tree here. I mean, with the slow up, with the KO melee, but Gap does take down Luna. Queen of Spades does get a pick onto Gap as well. The Hellfire does come down for Bubble Bath. Queen of Spades getting the resurrection onto Luna. Liz not quite able to take down Pike, and we see Sakura sneaking through tree here. Do you think that Zara and Kittens are going to be able to win this? It's not looking like it.
It's not looking likely, but with Spike just going down now, Sakura with an operator in hand, it would not surprise me if Sakura definitely finds at least a couple picks on their way down.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, an operator in this situation is a bit rough, but we are seeing that all the members of Bubble Bath are kind of just hiding. A lovely pick from Sakura. A lovely 2!
Oh my god.
Wow! Wow! Oh my god! Absolutely.
I take back what I said.
Incredible from Sakura. Those were some insane shots and insane picks from the Jet player for Zara and Kittens here. Wow. We have a game on our hands, everyone. 7-2 to Zara and Kittens right now after an insane clutch from Sakura. That was wow. I don't know if I've ever seen something quite like that in my time in Valorant.
You asked me if I thought Sakura was going to win this. I thought they might take 2 down with them on their way out, and Bubble Bath would have 1 left standing to win the round. I take back what I said. Sakura doesn't even need the operator. Uses a Blaze Storm and finds the clutch. What a beautifully played round by Sakura with a wonderful clutch. And as the operator had once again, it spelled doom for Bubble Bath before. It's spelling something much bigger than doom for Bubble Bath now.
Absolutely. I mean, 7-2 is such a big lead. A 5-round advantage that Zara and Kittens have over Bubble Bath here. And I mean, Sakura is just on fire right now. It's looking like Bubble Bath are looking more towards this B site. But obviously, with those weaker weapons in hand, it's not really likely that they're going to be able to do much. But, I mean, Blaha could hit some crazy shots. Aitana could hit some crazy shots here. We do have the knife coming out from the side of Zara and Kittens. And, I mean, Zara and Kittens, they have the lockdown. They have the null command. They have the Hunter's Fury. They have a lot that they can use in these final few rounds to be able to, you know, use it to their advantage and keep Bubble Bath out of their sights.
Absolutely. Definitely with the
30
ult and
seconds
utility
left.
advantage for Zara Kittens. 3 ults up on the board. Bubble Bath not even a single one. As we're going to have to try and look towards this site. Omen with Paranoid coming out as Bubble Bath going to look to make their way onto site. But 2 players get taken
Spike
down immediately.
down
Spike
A.
carrier goes down. Spike is on the floor. And Chips finds another pick. And the seconds ticking down. 1 player left. It's going to look like a bit of a clear up on A.
Oh, the knife kill not quite there, but Liz finishing it off. Wow. 8-2 to Zara and Kittens right now. This defense half for them is looking absolutely incredible. Obviously, we saw them fumble a little bit game 1 where, you know, the rounds were closer than we thought. but obviously they were kind of clearing up on Haven as well, map 2. But now this game, this is so good for Zara and Kittens, don't you think, Evelyn?
Absolutely. However, I believe that Bubble Bath will have the favourable team composition going on to the defence. We're not there yet, but Sakura, lovely first two edgy picks, makes the numbers a bit more favourable for Zara and Kittens. 4v3 now. Never mind, it's gone down to 4v2.
Last player standing.
And a lovely cleanup from Chips. It was looking a little bit rough for just a few
Last round
seconds,
in the
but
half.
as we get to the last round in the half here, the chances of Zara and Kittens ending this on a 10-2 half is looking quite high. But we're just gonna have to see what kind of things they can pull out. They still have those 3 ultimates on their side, whereas Bubble Bath are only kind of rolling with the non-command on the KO. So we're just gonna have to see what exactly they can do. What do you think about this, Evelyn?
I think that currently, obviously, you can see Bubble Bath looking more towards this site, but an entry pick by Zara with the operator. I didn't expect that one coming, but that immediate first pick, obviously, that Killjoy on site. Bubble Bath are looking to hit this very quickly. Another pick through from Zara before they get taken down. It's a 3v4 now for Zara versus Bubble Bath.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Zara with that operator, we usually expect Sakura to be on it, but even with the operator in hand, Zara was still doing incredible. And a lovely little pick from Liz with a Hunter's Fury, getting that pick. Sakura taking down Queen of Spades. Eterna is left in a 1v3 with an operator in Boathouse, but the Paranoia does go down. They only have the op in hand. Are they going to be able to do it? What an incredible shot onto Sakura, but no. Chips finishes them off, and this is a 10-2 half for Zara and Kittens. That was incredibly dominant.
Exactly. I agree. Not quite a 9-3 curse.
Switching sides.
Head to curse, anyone? As I said, Bubble Bath 100% have, I think, like a bit more of an advantage versus perhaps the textbook comp. As they do have a Sage, I think that's probably going to benefit them a lot more of a defense versus obviously on the attack. They might not get as much out of the utility there. So I'm hoping that the scoreboard might not look too good, but we did see this last week with Bubble Bath then finally getting on the attack, on the defense, sorry, and finding those rounds. So yes, the score doesn't look promising, but I think they might be able to. I think they might be able to find a comeback. I think it's definitely possible. What are your predictions?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think that Zara and Kittens have really woken up, but we're just gonna have to see what this pistol round has in store. Blaha being spotted by Zara's Killjoy turret already, while the rest of her team just goes off towards the A side. Obviously, the lurking Killjoy is, especially on Ascent, something that's very, very beneficial to have. Especially when you can just have, you know, the Killjoy turret kind of just look behind you while you can hold a bit more of a sneaky angle. The Sage Wall does come out but gets broken almost immediately. Sakura with the Sheriff in hand. Queen of Spades does take him down, but Chips trading right back. Chips getting another pick onto Pike as well, and Liz taking down Eterna. It's already a 4v2 for Zara and Kittens. Blaha positioned towards Heaven, looking to get a bit more vision and looking to kind of try and get some picks from the high ground, but it's not quite looking like they're going to be able to find anything beneficial. Gab is just sitting right on the other side of the smoke. As soon as it goes down, they have a special surprise waiting for them right when they walk through. Oh, but a lovely pick from Blaha, but Chips cleans it up with a 4K. 11 rounds on the board for Zara and Kittens. That pistol round was incredible.
Absolutely. Bubble Bath not taking the pistol round there. Zara Kid is probably going to look to do a force by here to put it up to match point and I suppose series point even. It's not going to look too good for Bubble Bath. I think that Bubble Bath, they did pretty good initially. Obviously that Sage Wall came down. They were able to find the initial pick and slow that push onto the site. But Zara Kittens were able to still come in, get the spike down. And then from then on out, it's just a clear up. Bubble Bath aren't able to find those picks where they need them and lose that pistol round. 11-2 so far in this half is not going to be looking too good for them with this current force buy round.
No, definitely not. And I mean, Zara and Kittens are kind of just letting Bubble Bath walk into them and just waiting for them to make the mistakes. Obviously, Blaha yet again pushed up with a Turner in this garage, looking to get some early information about where they might be. But I mean, the Killjoy and the KO on the side of Zara and Kittens have just kept so quiet and hidden away from any sort of information. But it's looking like this is going to be an A site hit here for Zara and Kittens. They get the tag onto the Killjoy turret and take it down straight away. The Jet Dash comes in. The Omen Smokes are here. The Paranoia has come through. The Knife as well has come through from the KO. Luna rocking with the Bucky here, which you know what, I rate it. We have a Bucky, we have a Judge. Let's just hope that Zara and Kittens aren't planning on playing any close quarters. But wow, there was just so many picks all coming out at the same time. Chips and Sakura getting 2 each, and Zara finishing them off straight away. We are on match point. We are on set point, series point for Zara and Kittens here. Wow, what do you think this round has in store for us? Because this is where both of the teams have kind of more even bias. So what do you think is going to happen here?
I think that Bubble Bath not taking that pistol round, obviously that forced buy now. In the previous round, 12-2 on the scorelines. That's a lot of pressure to be put onto Bubble Bath. As obviously we could see them trying to buy as much as they can and get as much in their arsenals as possible. It's make or break here right now for Bubble Bath, obviously. I hope they do a bit better on the defense. But even those 2 rounds have made this like make or break for them in this game. And obviously with the round started up, we're going to see Zara and Kittens make their way slowly up towards the middle and B at the moment.
I mean, yeah, the 2 rounds that Bubble Bath have were the first 2 rounds of the game. And every other round of this game so far has gone to Zara and Kittens. Obviously, there's a lot of utility coming through. Liz getting a pick onto Luna already, but gets taken down by a Turner. Chips taking down Queen of Spades, but Pike taking down 1 as well. Sakura getting a pick onto a Turner, but gets taken down by Pike. Chips in a 1v1 against Pike for the set win. Are they going to be able to do it? They seem to have an idea about where Pike could be. Chips just kind of sneaking around, trying to get the information. But where is Pike? They seem to be looping them, but they're not quite sure. Pike going to pick up the spike and looking to kind of just sneak their way onto site and play the delay. They now know that Pike is towards mid as they have broken the door, and they're not quite hitting their shots, and it's looking like they're going to fake out this spike yet. Again, not much time on their hands, but they are getting the spike down. Pike versus Chips in a 1v1 for the set. Are they going to be able to do it? I'm not quite sure. Obviously, Chips is just hiding in the smoke, which obviously gives Pike no information, but also Chips has no info either. So we are just going to have to see how this goes for both players. But Pike takes down Chips and keeps Bubble Bath in the game. A 3rd round on the board for Bubble Bath. Do you think this might be the start of the comeback?
Absolutely, Copium. I want Bubble Bath to come back and win this. I think it would be so amazing. Obviously, Zara Kittens, 12 match points. It's very close. Like round right there was make or break, and in 1v1, Bubble Bath were able to take that. I'm really hoping this is the start of something. Obviously, you can see on the board there all of that red from Zara and Kittens, all of those consistent back-to-back-to-back rounds. Finally, we see a little bit of green in there. There's a little speck of hope for Bubble Bath. And maybe in 5 minutes' time, I'll eat my words and it will be a 2-0 for Zara and Kittens. But I'd like to see a comeback. Because what is VALORANT without a comeback?
That's what I'm saying. Obviously, I think we all would. The Brimstone smokes coming down quite fast. We are getting the mollies down and everything. The smokes have come down as well. The Killjoy turret taking a bit to take down, but obviously Sakura has the entry onto the site already. They know that there's someone CT. They know that someone's just breaking the door. Sakura looking to kind of get some picks. Chips taking down Luna, taking down a Turner as well. Sakura not quite able to take down Blaha, but Chips does take him down as well. Pike taking down Zara. It's all up to the Sage and the Brimstone on the side of Bubble Bath. 2 of the members of Zara and Kittens are very low, so it could be possible. Obviously, Gab only has a sheriff in hand and gets a lovely little pick onto Pike. It's all up to Queen of Spades on this Sage. Time is running out, and it's not looking like they're going to be able to do anything to take this game. And with a final pick from Gab, Zara and Kittens have won the set 2-1 and have booked themselves a ticket straight to the finals.
Absolutely. Bubble Buff, there was a speck of hope for them, but they didn't quite find it. As Zara Kittens 2-1 are going to be facing Aimbot Angels in the finals. I think that Ascent, obviously we've seen Ascent from Zara Kittens, who will be facing Aimbot Angels. We've seen Ascent from both of those teams now. I think that, should that map be played a final, it's going to be definitely an interesting map to watch.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, this finals next week is going to be absolutely stacked. Both of these teams have looked so good in the sets that we've seen them play. And I mean, it's just going to be really interesting to see kind of what both of these teams do. Now, we will have an interview lined up for you, but we will go to a quick break beforehand, but we will be back right after with the player interview. Welcome back, everyone, to the University Esports UK and Republic of Ireland VALORANT Winter Women and Non-Binary Finals. Sorry, it's been a long night. We have a player interview for you with the absolutely incredible Sakura. First of all, congratulations on your win over Bubble Bath. How were you guys feeling kind of after, that loss on map 1, but then you guys kind of came out swinging maps 2 and 3? So how were you guys kind of feeling after that?
I mean, it would be a lie to say it was like perfect mental, but it was kind of a situation of that wasn't a map we're good on, and they definitely were. Like, they picked it, they probably pracked it, and they definitely had some good strats. So we're kind of just hoping that it would get better on the uphill, really.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, you guys definitely kind of brought it back after kind of that first map. So good job to you guys, especially for map 3. That ascent game was absolutely incredible. So yeah, Evelyn, do you want to go ahead with your question?
Absolutely. Congratulations again on your win, Sakura. We saw obviously on Ascent, you had a very, very well played clutch there, obviously, and with the Blaze Storm, and time again we've seen you do very well with the operators. So how are you kind of feeling on your overall performance, obviously, after those last few maps?
Yeah, I mean, it was a slow start, definitely, but I'm very happy with Ascent. Like, everyone played super well, we were coordinated, it was great, and then I got some good clips.
Definitely. Do you think that after these last few maps, are you feeling more confident now going into the finals?
Yeah, definitely. Like, we've practiced them even more now, so should be good.
Glad to hear it. Well, congratulations once again, and we will be seeing you next week for the finals of University Esports Winter 2023 VALORANT Women and Non-Binary Season. I think that's the entire thing. That's quite a sentence, but
it's a studio final as well. So
it is. It is indeed.
Make sure you watch it.
Final.
Make sure you watch it. We won't be in our bedrooms. The players will.
Absolutely. You won't
We
have to
will
see
not
this
be.
horrible background behind me. We'll be in the studio. Obviously, that'll be a best of. Is it a best of 5 format?
Yeah.
I believe it
Yeah,
is.
it
Okay,
is,
the player
it is.
knows more about it than I do, so we'll sign off for now. But join us next week for Studio Finals Best of 5, which will be obviously Zara and Kittens versus Aimbot Angels. See you then.
Thank you.